million ads in like the first 20 minutes and then nothing, and people complain about that. And the amount of money that this thing makes if the video itself is monetized is so little that all the money comes from super chats. So
yeah,
people want to ask me a question, they can pay. They want to tell me to fuck off, they can pay. And we're live now, so whatever. I don't know. Nobody knows. Oh, I should really just, if this thing went up, I'm gonna do because Nick does this social media thing. I'm gonna like get on up in it and everything. Everybody had horny dreams last night. I found a position that I dreamed a guy had his face on my chest, and I was hard for like an hour in my sleep. It was a new thing. I got to tell like a bunch of people about that. Bill Took says, "Hey fellas," Nick Kennedy says, "Good morning." Good morning. Are you like in Poland?
I was gonna say
who's or
being
what's
ironic. There's another good morning.
There's another good morning. Australia, I think, is 6 hours behind us tomorrow.
Okay.
There's still the afternoon in Australia. So
is that why everything's upside down there?
Yeah, I guess so.
No, look, you got a second good morning too.
Huh. Who's all? Where are you that it's morning for
Maybe
you?
they're just being ironic.
I guess.
Maybe they're being.
We never do morning streams. Gotta go to. Wait a minute. Can I just do this on the computer itself? I need to make a Twitter post that just says that we're doing this. Twitter. I spelled live stream wrong, and I'm too lazy to just correct it. So welcome to nice. So welcome to whatever this is. This is. I had like a day. I sort of had a day off today, in that I just got up and got high. I woke up at like 11:50. I went to bed at 1.
That's a nice sleep.
But I woke up like at 6. And it's the weird thing, like I tend to sleep a little bit sounder when the morning starts here in town. Like I have this, and we're drinking beer courtesy of Ben, and our first selection is Bourbon Barrel Aged Worldwide Stout. It says in the bottom, ages well.
It does not give you an ABV because it will change as it ages.
No way.
Yeah.
Are we talking? Are this more? Oh, it smells amazing.
Yeah. If you like a stout.
Yeah. Justin Burnash would love this Worldwide Stout. Dude, if you have an extra one, I'll bring one to him next time. Whenever I take the car back, we don't have to film that car for like another 2 weeks. Or I think it goes up in another 2 weeks. I should really film something tomorrow or get rolling shots of it tomorrow. Maybe the weather's supposed to be okay tomorrow, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Cold, but no, if you're filming, just let me know and I'll come. Yeah. We can play with that too. Got
to run it through. I asked Ben about the one car wash in town, that asking if it sprays underneath, because we put Susie, our 4Runner, up on the lift. It has new tires on it now. It has the Cosmos.
Nice.
I made the video for Cosmo Tire, so guys, it's done. And yes, it drives better with the Cosmos.
Does it?
It doesn't. I mean, the old one's clear. I'm glad that I was right, that the old tires did have a flat spot on them for sitting for maybe 10 years. The tires that were on the 4Runner, 2 of the tires were bought at the same time. They were 2017.
Okay.
1 tire was 2015, and 1 tire was 2000.
2000?
There was a 22-year-old tire on that car.
It was the original tire?
It doesn't make sense. There's 75,000 miles on that truck. And the tread on that one is still good. I'm wondering if that was the spare, if that's the spare wheel.
Rotated it on.
Yeah.
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 I did that to Port Ken's with that truck.
Yeah.
The spare was like stuck. Like it's just, it's the old school style, right? It's underneath the bed.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I was just doing it wrong or if it was like rusty from sitting up there for God knows how long.
Yeah.
But I couldn't break it free. So I went to Ken's and I was like, hey, when you're putting those new tires on, will you just swap the spare, like take this one off and make that the spare? They're like, oh, yeah, no problem. So they unjammed it for me.
Nice.
Yeah.
I should ask like Moyers or somebody to do that.
It's a good idea to just
Or
do
buy
it.
a bullshit. No, because who knows how old that spare is. I know whoever did the undercoating sprayed undercoating on that spinny nut with the spring that Toyota has. It's probably the same part.
Mm-hmm. On every vehicle ever.
Yeah. I've never used that. Yours has the crank down. It lowers
it
those.
like inserts into the back, which yours probably does too, right? Like right somewhere. Well, on yours it'd probably be by the bumper.
Okay.
You gotta like stick this rod in, and there's like a secondary piece that you connect to it. You spin it down, and it basically just makes it drop. And then when it drops all the way, you get a little more, and then you can just basically pull that thing out from the middle,
Okay.
right where the hub would be, and then you just take the tire out, just slide it out.
Okay.
You could check and see. It might not even be stuck that bad because yours is pretty clean underneath.
Yeah. There's a little bit of surface rust here and there, but there's no rot. The steering rack is leaking power steering fluid. So that's a thing. We saw there was wetness under there, but we also saw it comes out with like 3 or 4 bolts or like 5 bolts. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's a 5th one in the middle. And then it just pulls straight back once you take all the power steering lines out. So it may be a thing that I fix. It probably is going to be a thing that I fix. But now that after having the POW and knowing that you can run a steering rack down, and all it does is really just yell at you, and then you fill it back up again. If that's the same power steering rack as the Tacoma, because I'm thinking that what Matt Ferris said about the LS400, that there was something in that car that didn't take the fluid you think it did. It was either the power steering or the brakes took transmission fluid, one of the two.
Could be power steering
on an LS400.
Yeah.
It was some weird thing that it took.
Toyotas are a
or
little
automatic transmission fluid or something like that.
Yeah.
You put ATF in something that you wouldn't think.
I can believe that with power steering.
Okay.
I can believe it.
Hate crank down spare tire holder here in Nebraska. They always rust and won't unwind. Have to cut the skinny part with the touch. Keeper 8L04 says, do you think the F-150 Lightning will sell? Hell yeah, it will. I mean, if nothing else, for pure novelty. But they've been hyping it up so much. I've seen people get that. I'd love, hey, Ford, send me a Lightning.
Yeah.
I'd love to have that
craft
thing.
car.
Yeah. I think
the frunk is cool too.
Hell yeah.
I know it's a silly thing to care about, but it is like, I don't know why, but like because like you're like, oh, I'm buying this truck for all the storage. You're like, holy shit, I have more storage.
A trunk. I have something where I can put stuff that I don't have to get a box for the bed.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to get a cover for the bed.
Mm-hmm.
I can have stuff out of sight in the front of the truck. What a wonderful idea. And I think a truck is a fantastic platform for an electric car, especially if, you can sacrifice a little bit of breakover angle or ground clearance for some extra battery packs. Why not?
Yeah. It's heavy.
Yeah. Deference to Dusk says, my brake lights are stuck on. I don't know what to do about it, so I just pulled the fuse. I already moved the pedal back and forth to try to undo anything that's stuck. All right. Your brake lights are stuck on. I have no idea. I mean,
short somewhere even.
Yeah. Some older cars just have a brake light switch that's on the arm of the brake pedal, and it's a backward switch in that the switch is it's closed. Oh, no, wait, it's on the front of the switch. So it's always press the switch in. So when the switch is pressed in, it's open. And when the little plunger comes out, it's closed. It's backwards.
Okay.
And they're on the front of the brake arm. So, and those things are a pain in the ass to replace. But now I'm going all the way back to that's how they did in the 60s. But, if it's an American car, that thing wouldn't have been changed till like 1984.
Yeah.
The actual Team Ryan says booze, weed money. Yeah, dude, my dab pen, I still have my original dab pen from the beginning of the pandemic. It's still going strong after 2 years and one trip through the wash where my pants took took the Angel share.
Yeah.
Like I lost like an eighth of my, my wax out of the dab pen when it went through the wash. And I'm like, does this thing still work? And yep, turns right on and survived the wash.
Really?
It's a disposable one. So the switch is in the mouthpiece. So it only turns on when it gets like suction or something like that.
So it just kind of sealed itself.
Yeah. It's Matto says brake switch has cracked in it. All right. Brake like switch, something in the switch. It's Matto says, oh yeah, beer money. Thank you for beer money. I don't know if I want to go to the brick house after the shoot tomorrow. I kind of do. So I had this thing with like, it is a sponsor in that we got a bunch of gear, but I didn't ask for money. And they gave me accidentally, like they just emailed me like this morning, and it was weird because I'm like high while I get the email. And it's like, and it's right over there. It's like, we accidentally gave you 2 of the product. Can you just make an invoice and mail it back and we'll pay you back?
What?
And I'm like, why don't you just send me a UPS thing? I'll gladly give it back.
Yeah.
Because I don't know why I need 2 of this particular piece of equipment.
Yeah, but that's still a weird request. Like, hey, we screwed up. Can you do some work?
Yeah. Can the client take care of a problem in the warehouse?
No,
What? No, you do it. Well, clearly you have an expense account.
Yeah.
So expense your own postage.
Sometimes the like worldwide ship is super weird about it because it has to be like where it comes from and all this. Like it's a lot of minutia. So maybe it's just like if they only use UPS, maybe it's like, oh, this is too much work.
Yeah, but
at that point, though, personally, if I were them, I would be like, so just keep it, right? Like I don't want it back.
Yeah.
If it's too much work for me.
Look, like I never asked for money to do this thing because you gave me a piece of equipment that I'm already using. It's fantastic. But then you're like, why would you it's like something that Justin Burnass says, why do you give a client homework?
Mm-hmm.
I've gotten the wrong piece of equipment before or extra stuff. And I'm like, hey, so sorry about this. If it's not too much trouble, can we print out a UPS thing and you just drop it off at Staples or whatever?
Right.
I'm like, sure, no problem.
Yeah.
But like me doing an invoice, me doing extra bookkeeping, and then I'm going to wait around. What I asked him was like, okay, you want to tell me where you want this mailed, number 1, and number 2, who's responsible for, the receipt of this invoice? And if he doesn't know, because he's just like the consultant who like gets like influencers and stuff. So I'm like, I know exactly what's going to happen. I'm never going to get my money back. And if I do, it's going to be in 4 months. And now I know that thing's going to be like $49 or something like that to mail because it's heavy.
Yeah.
It's not a huge deal, but it's enough that makes you think and makes you sour.
Well, it's also, I don't know. Why would you even need an invoice to it? Like, why can't they should be able to send you something that says like, will you print this off and put it in the box and we'll reimburse
It's
you
literally, I didn't open the other box. I opened the one box. I'm like, oh, this is cool. And the other box is just sitting in the big box. And I already taped it up, ready to go. And I'm like, the fuck am I doing this for? And I don't want to make another invoice. There's something about me making an invoice for like under $40. I had this talk with like, shout out to Jim Schulman if you're watching. We had that great meeting that you were at the breakfast with. And then we had another Zoom meeting with some other people just getting ideas and really getting the ball off the ground that I need a video editor at this point. I mean, Big Daddy Doug only now got a video editor like this past year. He was editing everything.
Really?
With like millions of subscribers. While running Cars and Bits, he still edited his own videos.
That's surprising.
So that's like his time at doing Premiere or Final Cut or
is he slow
Resolve.
with releases? Like, does he release infrequently?
I don't know because I'm not subscribed to DeMuro, but I mean, I'm friends with him. I'd like to think I'm friends with him, but I mean, he locked me in his trunk, and I was at his house, and he bought me lunch and whatever when he lived in Northern Liberties down in Philly. But, and then he moved to San Diego. It's like my buddy Eric Pedersen, who I went skiing with the one time, and also got super high. He didn't get high, but I got high, and he told me, I was like, the next morning. People have heard this story, but we went skiing in Mammoth Lakes at Mammoth, and I asked for edibles from Matt Farah, and I got edibles, and I was and it's every edible story is just too much weed. So I get super high. So Eric Pedersen and us just went to dinner ourselves. We went to this nice restaurant. I'm like, I'm feeling great. You know what? I'm gonna order lasagna. This is an Italian restaurant. I've never ordered lasagna for that. This is probably gonna be amazing, and it was.
Was it?
Yeah, but the thing about like
it's a weird texture to have when you're high. I feel like
it's a lot of food.
Yeah,
it's dense, and when you're high, you just keep eating. So I got a lot, but I also am like carb heavy and like beef and cheese, and that was a good lasagna, I have to say. But like the thing with like eating weed, it's like it's an epic tale of getting high and kind of coming back, and then boom, there you go up again. Now you're high again. Yeah. Oh, I think it's over. No, the fuck it is. It's not.
Yeah.
So that keeps going on, and then eventually I just go off the rails. Too much. Eventually, it's like, hey now.
Did you eat it before you skied?
After.
Okay.
So
you're a little sore.
A little bit sore, which I thought would. Well, yeah, I was a little bit sore, but so I'm there. I remember that we walked back to the cabin style hotel. I mean, it was a pretty cute hotel. Everything's wood and beds were shit, but whatever. Place had class. So I'm like waxing my skis for the next night. I'm kind of keeping busy. And then I'm like, I think I'm going to lie down and, write in my journal. And when I started writing, the time dilation got to like interstellar levels. I thought an hour went by when like 2 minutes went by. And I was, then I started getting scared. And time started coming in and out. It was super strange. There are bits of my memory that I don't remember, which is weird it's California edibles. It was a Kiva bar that I think every square was like 45 milligrams, which that's bad.
Yeah.
Now I ate half of that. So I think I had about 20 milligrams. They say you really should start your first time with 5 or 10 at max. So I had double that. And it took 2 hours for it to kick in.
Really?
Yeah. Cause when you eat weed, it's not processed by your lungs. It's processed by your liver. And this is an old Joe Rogan line, but people shout it out, but it's 30 hydroxy metabolite, which is 5 times as psychoactive as THC when you smoke it. So
yeah,
it's already more, and it lasts for a long time. So I'm on the bed writing, trying to write, and time's just expanding. And then there are bits of memory that I don't remember. Eric told me I went down to the hotel lobby and started writing an article for Jalopnik in the address bar of Safari.
That's pretty awesome. It'd be even better if somebody found that later. If they were like, oh, let's go to travel. What is this?
So the guy at the front desk who was there the next day was also the guy who was there that night. So he's like, hey, man, because I was like out there. I'm like, did I run out? I had this memory of running outside. Because I had this like one episode before I think it was my old high school friend from high school, Matt Fisher, who lived like in Port Carbon, I think. And this was forever ago. This was like 2008, where I was at his party. Now I was already drinking. And I was drinking Miller High Life. Ooh, with the champagne of beers. But then weed appeared. So I was like, yeah, I was on the swim team in middle school. And I just held it in. I did 2 of those. Yeah, black. You get the spins. Like if you're drinking, yeah. So
I remember those days. Those are the worst.
That's the worst because you can't throw up. And also now you don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
So Matt Fisher told me, dude, I was ready to punch you because like you took a header off my cement deck. And yeah, I like woke up and he said, because he played like semi-pro football. And he was like, I was ready to punch you because you bit me. And I'm like, the fuck I bit you? You fucking bit me because I had to pull you off the goddamn deck. And Amanda, who was there, drove me home. It was a total dude, where's my car? Because like there's emptiness in my memory.
Mm.
And I wake up the next day in my bed and my contacts are out. And I'm like, okay, I know something happened last night. And I'm back at my parents' house. And I walk outside and my Toyota Echo isn't in my parents' driveway. And I'm like, uh-huh. I pick up my like Pantech slidey phone.
Yeah.
And I'm like, or maybe it was, I had like two different slidey phones. Like the Pantech, I called like my Aldi brand BlackBerry because it kind of looked like a BlackBerry, but it wasn't. And then I had some other weird like slidey phone. It was probably like an AT&T whatever box.
We were built incredibly well, and they could take a huge drop and be fine.
I know, right? God, I could wax poetic about the old just texting phones that, yeah, they had a browser.
The Nokia, what was the one everybody had? It was like an 8720 or something. It was a
dude, I think I have one of those upstairs.
And it was just like I remember like literally one time I remember my friend dropping his out of a moving car.
Mm-hmm.
He was like playing around and he was like, well, like, right. And he just threw it out the window going 60 miles an hour. We went and found it. It worked fine. It was scraped, but it worked fine.
Oh, man.
It just lasted.
We'll get to your super chats. Don't worry, but we're just talking about weed and drinking. So I call Amanda up the next day and I'm like, Amanda picks up and, you know, she had my numbers and my name comes up and she just says, hey, Brian. And I'm like Amanda, what happened? And she says, I'm coming to your parents' house. I'll tell you. And I'm like, oh, shit.
Will you take me to my car too?
Yeah. So she takes me back. She's like, okay, you were out of control. So me and some other guy, I can't remember, we drove you home and he had a pair of shoes in the back of his car and you threw up in them.
Intentionally?
I don't know. I guess eventually the gag reflex, you know, the THC just stopped the drag reflex. Yeah. And I just blew in this guy's he gives me a ride home and I throw up in his shoes.
I mean, usually you don't black out from weed though. So you must have been drinking heavily too, or drank more after you got
It was one of those parties where you're not counting.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, the Miller High Life was cold and it's everybody you knew from high school. And fucking Luke Glogg was there dressed as a pirate and it's April. It was a good party.
Yeah.
We were watching, like, I'm not Nick's the big wrestling fan, and I don't know what was going on in 2008 in wrestling, but that was one thing I knew when shit was going south, when wrestling became scary. Because we're inside, some people are watching whatever was playing, and I'm like, this is a bit too much, man. And so I go outside on the deck where everybody's talking, and I sit down next to Luke Glogg, and then I'm starting to go in and out of reality. And then Luke knew that something was wrong. And, you know, he was a seasoned smoker. So he was just trying to tell me that everything is okay. And he's my friend. But then I started thinking that the entire universe is just Luke Glogg telling me that I'm his friend. And that's all there is to existence and all that ever will be.
Like calm your presence.
Yeah.
Ugh. No, that like when I used to smoke, like the seeing stars, that's like the worst. Like when you get to that, you know what I'm talking about, where you close your eyes and you just see like
drinking or smoking.
Smoking.
I've never seen what happens.
Like it's like it's like if you just smoke too much weed, but you're just like you close your eyes and all you see is like stars flying at you.
Oh shit!
And I mean, I just remember like everything else about your reality in that moment is clouded by the stars flying at you, and you're just like it's hard to like move your you just feel like out of sorts.
Does that happen where you get like the paralysis where it's hard to move off the couch or wherever?
Yeah. Like that's that same, because like I was never like a connoisseur of it, but it was always like I was with people and they're like, "Do you want to smoke some weed?" And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
But then like I would have to like calibrate. I learned I had to calibrate to like these people do this every day. So the amount that is good for them is not the amount that is good for me.
No way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, those were bad days. And then I learned, I was like, okay, so I just need to like half of what you do is what I'll do.
It's so much easier now. Like maybe this is what's going to be like the old man sort of thing as we age. Like nowadays, you know what you're getting. If you buy weed, like you can buy it in a store and they'll tell you everything about it. But back in the early 2000s, fuck off. You didn't know what was that was. Yeah.
Well, and then I don't know if in the Midwest, did it happen out here, the bath salts?
Yeah, dude, there was a place in the Schuylkill Mall that was right next to the pet, right across, like it was right next to the pet shop and across the street from the across the promenade from the arcade.
Well, that's kind of also Schuylkill Mall. It's just like, oh, you want to shop? There you go.
Yeah. So yeah, there was this place that was called Nirvana's Closet. That's what it was called. It was called Nirvana's Closet, and it was pretty much like a no-name Spencer's Gifts, which is funny because the Schuylkill Mall had a Spencer's Gifts, and then they closed. So this other like no-name place that some guy just rented the space called Nirvana's Closets, and they have your T-shirts and your Scarface posters, and it was a head shop on top of that. But yeah, they were totally selling bath salts out of there in like 2004.
I just though like I remember seeing a friend who was on those, and like she was just gone.
Really?
Like, she was like because she like got super into them, and she was just like out of it. Like had no idea what was going on. Like seemed like.
Was she at a party or something? Like
no, like I mean, yeah, she was like it was like a Friday night, but like it was like
was this in college or
like so this would have been like late 2000s too. But she was like I would describe it as like if you saw somebody that you used to know who suddenly became a heroin addict, she was like half step back from that, where she was just like, hey man, like wouldn't make eye contact, didn't really, and I just remember being like, are you okay? Like what's because like before she was always just like bright, bubbly, like energetic, and I was just like, what happened? Like why are you continuing to do this to yourself? But I think it was, I mean, it just fucked with your brain.
Yeah, it's like I know this is a come town line, but like bath salts is like smoking the stuff that comes out of lithium ion batteries.
Yeah. No, it's just nasty, and that's the thing for why when it was legal, it was those kind of
Yeah, like people were trying to get high in like sort of any ways. Like I had this period like in grad school where I was addicted to like over-the-counter sleeping pills, and like my friend Corey Walton, we talk about that all the time because she had this Subaru Impreza GT. She for people listening, Corey Walton, she's the person I sold Goldie to. I was just gonna give her the Subaru, and she insisted on paying. So I was like, "Give me $100 for the car."
Yeah.
So she has it now. And it also has the Cosmo tires, and she says it's her daily now.
Yeah,
she's like, yeah, it's winter, whatever. She put her nice WRX away.
You need to like eventually though. You need to help her with like a Viking funeral for that thing. Somehow you need some kind of an elaborate.
She wants to keep that thing on the road, so she's gonna learn welding and weld. She's gonna plasma cut that stuff out and weld it out. She's like, Goldie needs to survive, and
it was pretty rough.
Now she has money. She's making six figures. She's good.
Okay. So this is more just a habit, like a project for fun, not
because Corey, like, she's a graphic designer and everything, and like she knows how to program and code. So, but her dream is to also be a certified mechanic. So she tells me. So she started like going to night school at Deltec College down in Wilmington, and she was because she never went to Votech or did anything. I knew some people in Votech, but I didn't go. I was college prep. So she says, "Oh my God, these boys are freaking Neanderthals. Everything revolves around their asshole. They're just like." They're like getting compressed air and shooting it into their own. Oh yeah. Well, that never happened. Like if you're working on a car and someone has compressed air, your butt crack's showing, you get that nozzle right there.
Yeah. No, but I'm picturing like, are these like adults now?
No, these are like kids out of high school. They're now in tech school. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So that, okay. I'm thinking
they're 17, 18 years old.
I'm thinking this is like a continuing ed thing. And these are like dudes in their 30s who are still doing that. I'm like, what?
Well, yeah. When I was building the Falcon, like, fucking Tony Rumble was throwing firecrackers at me while I
Yeah.
was holding a cylinder head out of the cleaning
There's
bins.
something about like being in a garage that kind of brings out that like
It does. It
yeah.
totally does.
I don't know why.
I love that. I mean, half of it is just blowing off steam because it's, you know, working on cars is a punishing job. You're getting your hands ripped up.
Mhm.
You're inhaling brake clean all the time.
Yeah.
And that can't be good for you.
Yeah.
And then you're
pissed
dealing
off.
with like half the drug addicts of like, who like, it's not just people like you and me who just like tell me when it's done and I'll cut you a check or here's my card or whatever. It's like people with like a million sob stories and they're rolling in with some like Chevy Cobalt that deserves to be in the junkyard,
Yeah.
but like they're at wit's end
Mhm.
because it's either this and there's no public transportation and blah, blah, blah. So they got to get this car done.
Or they've done nothing to it and it just has like 4 bald tires and somehow it's still breaking even though there's no pad left.
Yeah.
And they're like, well,
Yeah.
you're telling me I need all my brakes done?
Yeah. Oh, well, I can't, you know, can't you just pass
Put it back together.
Yeah. Like there was somebody there one time with like, I won't blow up the shop, but I was there. Which was a customer car, and it was like a Subaru. It was the Subaru Legacy GT sedan, which I think is kind of cool.
Mhm.
It's the WRX kind of engine, so it's a EJ25 turbo
Mhm.
in a plain Jane sedan. I think it was a Hawkeye, and I think they come in stick. It's like the WRX, but you don't want to be part of the WRX scene, and they're good. Gosh, there was another Subaru that the guys from Gears of Gasoline had. Shout out to them. I forget what it was. Well, anyway, it was a customer car. And the one guy there, I won't say his name, was saying, yeah, I drove this. And I'm doing an impression of him right now, but because he's a cool guy. He was telling me stories about when he worked for like Sears. He used to work for Sears. No, not in the Lehigh Valley. Maybe in the Lehigh Valley. But like the customer car, like this thing has no power. It's like, I don't know if this turbo is spooling or not. And it has like the cheapest aftermarket wheels on it. It was just there for tires. And it's like the rust is already on the doors now. So it's past the rocker panels all the way up the sides. It had big time Subaru rot. Yeah. Yeah. Well, he was telling me a story about like this one guy when he worked at Sears Auto Center, which is now closed now. Wherever he was, it was closed. And there was like this one guy, and he was like a customer facing guy. He was like the service writer. And this guy, he had like a wife who did something, either worked for like Air Products out in, technically, is that Whitehall or Bethlehem or?
I think it's Bethlehem.
Because it's like past Kutztown on 222 or Old Route 22. Well, people in the chat, we're talking like very specific Eastern Pennsylvania stuff.
Yeah.
Unknown Gaming said, what did I miss? You missed me talking about getting high with Eric Pedersen from weed that I asked Matt Farah for. So that's what we're doing. But now we're just talking about Pennsylvania things again. So there was this guy working for Sears Auto Center and that my friend was telling me about. And his wife had a really good job and he just kind of putzed around. And he's like a dude in like he's like 62.
Okay.
So I don't know how this relationship worked, but whatever, his wife had money. Wife passes away. And like he got inheritance, but he just kind of went off the rails and became one of those Pennsylvania boozing men. Like that's what they do. They just get up and they get after it with whatever sort of alcohol, like drinking all day long. So this guy would like fall. He would like decide he didn't want to sit at the shop counter and would like pick a chair back in you know, around one of the bays and just sleep. And then later on, like when Sears was closing, but for whatever reason, there were still customer cars to work on. He's like riding one of the power carts around inside the store. And like this guy is showing me videos of this like old man. He looks like, do you remember Don Vito from CKY? Okay. Imagine a guy in his 60s who like has like the alcoholic red nose. He's got hair like he's trying to remain in 1977. White hair, you know, got jowls. Just kind of pear-shaped body.
Yeah. He seems like he could snap at any time. Sometimes
No, he didn't have that personality.
Okay.
Just kind of like he's like ready to party. He's the guy. Like if you're in the like, if you can go into the VFW, he's like some old Sarge
okay.
or something like that.
He's
So
always
like,
in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's like riding a power cart, seeing how much it would pull. So like like tied to the powered shopping cart via a sweatshirt is a pallet jack, and it's pulling the pallet jack and this fat old guy along. Jesus. And then they're just like, he's like hooking shopping carts and building like this human centipede of logistical equipment, just pulling it across and through the bays and stuff. And people are just like laughing, like other guys who are working, clearing out the store are laughing at him. And then like, they're like drawing dicks on his sunglasses and said, here, we made your sunglasses better. And he's just like wearing them. He's kind of like one of these guys, like if you just tell him to do stuff, he'll do stuff.
Okay.
One of those guys.
So he's kind of given up too.
Yeah. That's like a weird PA thing of guys who their thing is now they find out whatever drink they like they like rum and cokes, and they're going to be drinking that for the next 18 years until their liver gives out, and then that's the end of it. And I was like, that's retirement for them.
Yeah, I don't get
depends.
that.
And like the Pennsylvania polka could be playing, but they think it's Sweet Home Alabama, and they start singing the words to Sweet Home Alabama.
Well, those guys too. I mean, it's just so sad. Like it's like an advertisement for not drinking.
Exactly.
When you go to the bar and you see that, you're like, is that what I'm going to be?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want to do that.
No way. Like this is the first drink I've had since the last time I was at your house.
Yeah.
And when was that? That was when we had the Audi S4 still.
Mm-hmm.
Like back when we filmed that stuff. So that was my first drink in like a week and a half or something like that.
Yeah. Something like that. It's healthier for you.
Definitely.
Speaking of, you want another one?
No way, dude. I'm like,
oh, you're halfway.
I'm only halfway through. This feels like a 12% beer.
Yeah, it probably is.
Yeah.
It might be higher than that. It might be like 14.
It's fucking amazing though. Thank you. So we should get to these questions. Woo! Replying. Who on Twitter just posted the WNEP? Oh, it's something I muted. So someone said WNEP. What the fuck? All right, I'm saving this till Ben comes back. Shout out to lasagna girlfriend Jorn Arbuckle. Twitter at Wyatt_Riot_69. Someone tweeted this to me. It's from WNEP.
What is it?
All right, here's the news title. A trailer carrying 100 monkeys. A trailer carrying 100 monkeys collided with a dump truck this afternoon just off I-80 near Danville. According to state police, 4 of those monkeys got loose. The PA Game Commission is looking for the monkeys. This fucking rules.
I just want to see.
Maybe they were just going over, like trying to sneak into the Geisinger Medical Center up in Danville to get some Oxycontin.
Just imagine the bounty hunter who has to go after them.
Hell, this fucking, I got to tweet back to this guy. This fucking rules.
It's not far away. We can go try to find them.
Dude, Danville's like an hour and 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's not that bad.
I know, but it's all the way up the road. Like, I would love to take like the current giveaway car, which I can't talk about right now, but it's in the garage right now. Yeah, that thing sucks fucking balls on back roads.
Really?
It's honestly the platform could be. It's all the steering. Mm-hmm. I think it right down to the steering ratio.
Yeah,
it's just so.
Well, I think the second gen of that, like the second iteration of that, people had pretty positive things to say about.
Yeah,
but I would imagine. I mean, the first. What else was GM making at that point? Right?
Maybe it's a GM car.
No, like what else?
We're kind of giving it away, but you know.
All right, yeah, I'm sorry, I gave it away, didn't I?
Yeah, well, people are gonna figure out what it is.
It's a Bentley Continental Flying Spur.
Hell yeah!
It's 3 years old.
God, my brother didn't like it home much. I was just hanging out with my parents today, and like my brother was home, and I gave him we got food from Lo Duca's. and just some like stuff. Oh shit, that reminds me. Is it okay if I eat in front of you?
Yeah.
All right.
I don't have any super chats to pull up. All I have is a Twitter feed.
Yeah, so we go to like the local Italian restaurant, which honestly, it's the perfect car for going up to like your local Italian restaurant. But I didn't want to like, I don't even know. But I'm like something that'll keep. So I literally put this grilled chicken wrap on my radiator for the past like 2 hours while I was at the gym.
Yeah. Stays good.
Hell yeah.
No, that's
This is
fantastic.
quality podcast.
Because just picture
It'll
the
be like
monkeys.
Nick Mullen, just talk on, just eat on mic.
Just eat into it. Like picture, because those 4 monkeys are so excited right now.
Yeah.
They're like, this whole time, all of this shit I've been through, now it's finally, and then they're like, oh my God, it's so cold.
Yeah.
Right? There's no way they were ready for.
Danville. Danville's an all right town, though.
It'd be great though if there was just like a feral monkey population running around Danville now. For the rest
Yeah,
of the time.
so some like at least it was like 50-50 male female, and they all start fucking. That'd be awesome. There was this like family who lived next to my buddy Tom growing up, and they had a pet monkey, and it was bizarre. Like they didn't mow their lawn or anything.
Yeah.
And it was okay because they lived kind of, down off the road a little bit. And they had a lot of trees in their front yard. So it kind of concealed like their freaking Schuylkill County redneck weirdness. They had like these like 2 jet skis like on a trailer, and I never saw them move throughout high school.
What is that? Because that only happens with jet skis when they're around here.
Right?
Right.
Because where are you going to go but Lake Winona?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and then I don't even think you can go there unless you live there.
Like go on the lake?
Yeah, I don't think you can get in, right? It's a gated community. You're not even supposed to be able to get in unless you like know somebody there.
Well, I knew everybody there. I mean,
on what's the little one? Fawn Lake.
Yeah, well, there's 2 lakes in Lake Winona. We're talking about a housing development here in PA.
That's a really weird housing development.
It's super strange because like there's no police.
Well, I don't like. Yeah, there's no police.
There's acres and acres. This is like square miles of like this weird DMZ area in the area.
But they're also like, I mean, it's nice.
It's where you go. Cool. It's where you go to smoke weed on a pontoon boat in 1997. Because there's 2 lakes. There's like the little lake, Fawn Lake. Like there's no power equipment there. That's just canoes and rowboats. And then there's a big lake, which everybody has pontoon boats, and they go out and drink and smoke weed.
Right.
And because the deal is there's like Lake Winona Security, which at the time in the 90s was a guy in a RAV4 with some amber rollers on the roof.
I think they have a Ford Escape now.
Ooh.
I don't know if that's kind of a downgrade in my view, but
totally is. They totally had a RAV4 in the 90s.
But I just think it's weird. Like there's no building code. So like you can have like a 70s looking house next to like a bi-level, next to a ranch, next to an A-frame, next to a brand new, very nice, like 2-story. Like there's just zero structure to it.
Yeah.
It's
like
nice.
Occasionally you see houses up for sale living in Lake Winona.
Yeah.
But you have to go through a gate to get it in. And then you have to drive for like 10 minutes to get your house.
Yeah.
And we used to all sneak in because like half my friends, my friend Melanie and my friend Eric, lived in there. And both of them were close enough to the main roads that we would go. I could ride my bicycle to their house. And there were 2 ways to get there. One was by Dock A. There was A, B, C, D. And that was by Fawn Lake, by the little thing. I could ride past Larry's barbershop and like ride on this like dirt road, and then it would go in this pass through the woods, and then I could get into the housing development. Because the thing with this housing development is there was only 2 ways into it by car, and there were both gates. One was an automatic gate, and the other one, there was a gatehouse where security was. But there was also this mountain, I think the road was just called Mountain Road or something, Second Mountain Road. It would go up, and if you rode through this cornfield or soybeans or whatever they're planning for, you could also get to one of the roads inside Lake Winona. I can get to Eric's or Melanie's house that way. Oh man, I think that road went past Kevin Klein's house because he lived in Lake Winona. He was this kid I knew like in elementary school, and he tried to fight me in the Cressona Mall one time because I like talked to his 5th grade girlfriend. I'm there playing fucking video games because Messina's Pizza used to be in the Messina's Pizza, I think is not. Oh fuck, where's Messina's Pizza now?
Yeah, I've heard the name, but I can't picture where it is.
It used to be a pizza shop in the Cressona Mall.
Is it the one? Oh, it's right by Redner's.
Yes, that's where it
Yeah.
is now.
Yeah.
You know when you go in the Cressona Mall and you turn right and it's that like weird people just selling candy?
Yeah.
That's where Messina's Pizza used to be.
You're talking the old school mall that's torn down?
Excuse me, Cressona Mall.
Okay. Okay. Oh yeah. Right when you walk in.
Yeah, like folks, this is a mall that has no anchor stores.
No. Well, what Kohl's? I think is that an anchor store?
That's a Fairlane Village Mall.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah, I forget the Cressona Mall has an interior actually.
Yeah.
What else is it? It has some sort of a college.
An offshoot of Arvernia College
Yeah.
from Reading. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and Staples.
But these are all things that you can't get to from the inside of the mall anymore.
Right.
Because that mall used to extend almost from one side of that mall to the other. But
So you mean Schuylkill County used to have 3 malls?
yeah, they had Cressona, Fairlane, and Frackville or the Schuylkill Mall. We had 3 malls in the 90s.
How were they being supported?
I don't fucking know. I mean, well, there was no Amazon, there was no internet. Well, there was internet, but fuck, what are you buying? But
I have to say though, like the whole so it's funny to me the thought of Schuylkill County having 3 malls, but like in general, the decline of the mall, I kind of love it. Like, have you been to the one in Whitehall, whatever that one's called?
Is that
the giant one, the one like where everything is, like
In
where the
what?
Apple Store is, and
Lehigh Valley Mall?
yeah.
Yeah, the only reason I go there is to go to the Apple Store.
So go inside next time.
Yeah.
And Abercrombie apparently like left town, which I don't know why, but I really like something about like maybe it's like repressed memories of like all of like the cool rich kids in high school having Abercrombie clothes and me being like, I can't even buy anything there. So maybe that's why, but like it's closed. They like must have just packed up and left. The entire structure looks identical, but now it's like women's bargain price fashion.
Fuck,
Which is like everything on this rack $6.99, and it's just like how the mighty have fallen. Like,
dude, we should
fuck you and everything you stood for.
We should take the next giveaway car just to go to Lehigh Valley.
Let's go.
Let's just have a day.
I think I have a picture of it because I was just so obsessed with how absurd
I need
it was.
I need to edit. This is why I need an editor, because I want to have my life back. Not that you guys and everything RCR has given me is not an awesome life, but like that 90s stuff of just getting in a car and just, well, we'll see what's going on at the Lehigh Valley Mall, or let's go to fucking Exton. Like my brother was telling me like round ones are still around. Yes.
we got to go we got to go in.
Yeah. Like, yeah, because the only reason I have, like, I shout out to Blake Wrong, formerly of the Peterson Museum and also Auto Week. Like, we met at the Lehigh Valley Mall one time, like right when I got Susie. Like, and the guys from friggin' that, tiny little car, like used car dealership that had that 4Runner, because they put the license plate in with self tappers. Fucking everything's great about the truck. They freaking fucked up the license plate because Toyota has like captured nuts that are like spot welded behind the metal.
Are a bitch with it. Yeah.
So you're supposed to put bolts in those and in 4Runners.
And there's only 2 as well in any Toyota. Yeah.
So they only had 1 holding in. So thank God that was in Catasauqua, and Justin Kramer's shop was right up the road. So he drilled it out, tapped it, put the right bolt in, and didn't even charge me. So
That's
he's
nice.
a solid dude. Yeah, shout out to Catasauqua Auto Repair, Catasauqua, Pennsylvania.
I gotta call him about getting the Corvette in.
That's Bruce Henn.
Mm.
I mean, doing like Kramer will do it, but he is more like if you have like a C10 truck or like obscure GM stuff.
That's right.
He's your guy for doing that sort of thing. He bought a Yugo. And he's engine swapping a Harbor Freight generator engine as the engine. And he's going to make it work with a manual transmission. He's building a clutch that this is going to work.
Fantastic.
How
did he find a Yugo first?
He buys the weirdest shit. He has a YouTube channel called Fuel Injection Sucks. He's the guy who co-built the Turbo LS Winnebago.
Okay.
He's that guy.
I knew I remembered the name. Okay.
Right now, his daily. He bought a Subaru Loyale. And he discovered that a Subaru Loyale has 2 cam belts.
Okay.
Timing belts. One of them can break and the engine will still run because the other one drives the distributor. So one bank can completely go and the car doesn't give a fuck.
And it's running
on 2 cylinders. Not his, but he discovered that because he also discovered that he had a tensioner in there that broke and the cam belt was riding on a seized pulley for like 5 months or something like that and not giving a shit. The cam belt,
that was, I mean,
and it didn't come out of time. It's like, these Loyals, they don't give a shit.
Those old Subarus, man.
Yeah.
They were, I remember my dad had a GL10.
Yeah.
An 85. No, was it an 85? Maybe it was an 86 because it had the Cyclops that was like tacked on. When did that become law? 86.
Fuck
I think.
off. Oh, that Cyclops.
It had like,
brilliant.
it had a little stand and it was just like sitting in the back window, but it didn't fall. It was a Subaru. I mean, they were great, but like I remember they had that and they had a 92 Legacy wagon. And I remember they were leaving our neighborhood and my mom started to pull out and then stopped because she didn't think there was enough room for both of them to go. And my dad was looking at traffic and had the same realization. So he's like, oh, I better hit it. So he hit it and he rear-ended her. And like the Legacy.
Your dad rear-ended your mom.
Yes.
Tight.
I know, right? It's the setup of a great joke.
Yeah.
But like the Legacy had like, I don't know what it was, like $1,200 in damage, right? Like the bumper was crinkled or something.
Yeah.
And the Subaru, the GL10 with rubber bumpers, it was just like, you couldn't tell it happened. It was just like, this is fine. It was just black rubber bumpers.
God, that's brilliant. Now I want a freaking Loyal. We reviewed a Loyal and I liked it. I mean, they're slow as piss. They don't move, but
they're so cool. They had like a digital dashboard. The GL10 had a 85. It had a digital dashboard.
There is still a guy around here. I think he's in Berks County who has a Subaru XT, the original, where the instrument cluster is attached to the steering column. So when you adjust your steering wheel, you're also adjusting your.
And that's what, like, because I would say, right, we love Japanese cars, right? We've admitted this, but like Honda used to be quirky. Toyota has always been conservative. They've like from the beginning of time, like they've had weird, funky, quirky also, but they've also always been like, but it's got to work. It's got to be. And Subaru was always kind of the ones that were like, well, let's just try and see what happens. Like they kind of had that like,
fuck it.
Yeah. Like
send it. Fuck it.
Maybe
fucking
people
the Tribeca.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Let's call it the B9 Tribeca.
Yeah.
Maybe people will buy it. Like,
yeah. Oh, dude, speaking of Toyota, someone sent me, and this is a shout out to a bunch of furries on Twitter. And shout out to my friend Mike. They were at this party, this house in Northern California. I don't want to blow up the guy's spot, but I'm trying to work this out. I will make a special trip to San Francisco because my buddy Mike sends me this picture. He's at this house and the owner of the house isn't there yet. He's just like, I have to take care of some business. I'll be at the house in a day and a half.
Okay.
Amuse yourself. I'm sorry I'm not there to greet you. The keys to my cars are in the such and such place. They're out there. They have covers on them. Now, these are cars that are outside with covers on them.
I guess moderate climate.
He goes out, pulls the cover off of one car. Fucking LFA.
Lexus sitting outside?
Sitting outside. Lexus LFA with a cover on it. And now this guy is like tech money.
Okay.
So it's like, whatever. The other car, 812 Ferrari Superfast. And
all right.
And they're like taking fursuit pictures in them and it ruled. Like the pictures are amazing. And I'm like, how can I review an LFA? Because I thought it would be, there's no way I can get my hands on an LFA. I saw once on Top Gear when they were still with the BBC.
Yeah.
There's no way I can get but there's someone who my buddy knows, who someone knows, who has an LFA. I will buy a trip.
And usually those kind of people don't give a shit. So they're like, oh yeah, you can drive it. Like,
dude, the one guy told me that the Superfast has just like In-N-Out wrappers in it. And it's dirty. And it's like, do you want us to send this to at least to a car wash, or we can pay for a detail to drive your car? He's like, fuck it. No, I don't care. Because, and I looked up the guy and he donated such and such money to such and such politician or something like that. That's the level of money we're talking about.
Abusing a car like that is sad, but I do also appreciate people actually driving a hypercar, right? Or any kind of a supercar, right? Like not being like, oh no, because like that's what like even with my stupid, like my Corvette, it's a nice car, but
But
it's
you
a
drove it in the
Corvette.
winter time to
Yeah,
Indiana.
but it's a Corvette, right? Like they made hundreds of thousands of them. They're everywhere. And then like the old retired dude who's like, "Oh, this doesn't come out except on the nice days in the summer."
I'm with my C5.
Like it's a fucking Corvette.
He's there with the armor all white.
I'm not begrudging, like I'm not disparaging the car. I love that car and it's a very good car and it's cheap speed, but it's not anything that you have to be like, "Oh, I can't drive that in rain." Like it's not fun to drive in rain, but just if you need to go somewhere and it rains, move on.
Yeah, it's goddamn. Like I've been thinking about that LFA at least once a day since that pitcher told me.
You have to like. There's how many of them exist?
I don't know.
Not
How many did they make?
Not many. I'm sure we could.
They
look
lost
it up,
money
but
on every single one they
yeah,
made.
it was a Halo car.
Why did they make it?
It was a Halo car.
They
That's
just
all
did it to
was.
fuck it.
That would know it was a Halo car, right? The whole concept of a Halo car, right, is like you make this ridiculous thing, make very few, but it makes people have more excitement about your brand, right? So then when they came out with like the F line, they could be like,
Yeah.
look, this is sort of like an LFA. Well, no,
Yeah.
it's not. It's just a regular GS. No, it's an F Sport.
Oh, dude, when people make memes about suspiciously rich furries, that's what they're talking about. Yeah, Andrew Palmer and LFA would be amazing.
So you got to meet that guy. Yeah, you got
I have to
to
find. I have to find a way that regular car reviews can do an LFA.
You have to do it.
What engine is that? Did they make a specific engine for it? Is it
It's a V10.
Oh shit! The only other V10 I know that they made was in the Century.
Yeah, it might be a custom because, like, you know, the whole thing about the whole body was aluminum, and then as it took them like 9 years to make it, and as they got closer to release date, they were like, you know what, carbon fiber is pretty good. We should have done that, and they're like, scratch it, and they went back and remade the body with carbon fiber.
God, that makes me hard.
Like they're just like no cost. Yeah, no expenses spared.
So Rocky LaRouge, who I talked to before, said the engine is a Yamaha. So Yamaha had their hands in that, which tracks because of the cylinder head on the Corolla XRS and Matrix XRS. So we got.
They made 500.
No way.
190 were U.S. configuration.
God, there's 190 in the country.
You gotta go. I mean, it's probably worth in the millions now.
Yeah,
you gotta go.
God,
if you have a chance to drive that,
did
even
the
if you didn't
Muro
have
do an
RCR,
LFA? Because if I can do a car that the Muro didn't, I listened to the one Smoking Tire podcast with Doug DeMuro on it, and he didn't know that Sarah's had manual transmissions, and I have one.
What?
He didn't know. Now, granted,
yeah, I guess if you're not,
there are about the number is somewhere between 1,000 and 1,100 manual Sarahs to ever exist, and that's the thing that I get excited that.
Yeah,
I've never really owned. I guess like
you're sounding like the rare thing now. You know that you're going.
You see what's over on my bulletin board. You can go and get that. That was one of my Christmas gifts.
Oh, the
Matchbox car, which is like I had like my dream car, my MR2, that needed nothing, and Burnash like just adjusted the thing. Like I have one toy car, and it's the one thing that's wrong about it is the wheels are wrong. It's the right picture because those are wheels, and it's dedicated. It's like the 84, right?
Yep, 84.
Now, if you spin it to the back, does it have a third brake light on the car, on the toy?
Oh, on the back of this. I mean, it's not highlighted. Where was it?
Because the early, I think like 84 and 85 didn't have
I think it was 86 was when it was mandated to have the Cyclops. I'm pretty sure that's when it was. Because maybe my dad's didn't have it then. No, it doesn't have anything on the back.
Yeah. Shout out. This is
rare.
No, this is from Nick Roman and his girlfriend Colette, who got me this, as well as 2 books to read.
I really want to start collecting Matchbox cars again. I had such a huge Matchbox collection.
Yeah, this says it's supposed to be an 84. The weird thing is when they made this, they gave it blacked headlight covers where none of them had that. They were all body color.
Is Matchbox just starting to phone it in? Is that what happened?
I don't know if this is. I mean, it has like the old school 80s, like retro styling to that package.
I'd love
Goddamn.
to-
See, when I was young, it was all micro machines because they came out and they like, well, I think Come Town has a bit, dude. What if toy cars but fucking smaller? And then they had that fast talking guy, and that shit ruled.
Oh yeah. No, I had Matchbox galore, man. I'm sure I had a couple hundred of them at one point.
Christian says it's a naturally aspirated 4.8 liter V10 making 553 horsepower
Holy shit.
and 354 pound-feet of torque. It's Matto says yes, that V10 was exclusive to the LFA.
But the sound.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, do you remember that? Like just watching videos and listening to the sound of that car.
it sounds like a motorcycle.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to some super chats here. God damn, that beer is good. Thank you, Ben.
No trouble.
Paul Unisach says the world is a vampire. Indeed, it is. Thank you, Paul. Rocky LaRouge, hey, it's good to talk to you. Thank you very much for your generous donation. What's poppin', fellas? On a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you for the new Z? Honestly, 3. It's a freaking cold and no one wants to let their car warm up. Do you let your car warm up on days like this? Or do you just get in and drive?
I mean, I just get in. I don't go hard, but I just get in and drive. Yeah.
Yeah, I know that once my temperature gauge on my 4Runner gets off the peg, then I go past 3,000 RPM if I need to. But it's a 4Runner, so I don't. I had this one moment, like I've been using that ETSC that just raises all the shift points. I'm like, is my Interstate 78 merge thing.
Yeah.
It's just, I know the car's not fast, but this button will give me something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It tries. You can definitely see why people put those superchargers on it, but then it always destroys that engine.
Yeah. Evan Paul says, stay hydrated. Yep. In fact, thank you, Evan Paul. I'm going to get another seltzer. Christian says, happy Friday. Happy Friday to you too. Newt says, the first time I ate brownies, I thought they were bunk because I wasn't high after half an hour. Yeah. And then you started smoking. Oh boy. Got nicely high. And then the brownie kicked in. Brownies take at least an hour.
I didn't know it was that long.
Because it's got to go through your liver first.
Yeah.
Because it first has to go to your stomach, and then it has to get into your bloodstream, and then it has to get to your liver, and then you get the hit. So
yeah,
it's like doing a. It's like doing a coolant change on an MR2 because you got to bleed it like 3 different ways because it has all those lines that run to the front of the car.
Oh, yeah. You were saying that.
Yeah. Burnash told me that you can take a stock MR2, any of them, on a track, and they won't overheat because there's so much coolant.
Yeah.
And so much line. It travels so far away from the engine that they're fine. Just go out and run them. Jake H doesn't have a question.
I'm getting a beer. Do you want me to get you a seltzer?
Yes, please. Aaron Crutchfield, good name, man. Couple of questions. Why is the domain name Singular Review instead of Plural Reviews? Regular car reviews? Regular cars reviews? Because it doesn't sound right. How are you getting the giveaway cars? The giveaway cars are bought by my merch guy from Prime Driven, Justin Burnash, who's been on the podcast before. He buys them. They're in his company's name. And it's up to him what he chooses to buy. In about a year, he told me I get to have some input, and I know exactly what I'm going to do. It's going to be probably a Toyota Camry with a manual, because a Camry was offered with a manual. Because the kind of giveaways I want to do are just regular cars, but like enthusiast versions of regular cars. Thank you, Ben.
Sure.
So no, they're bought, but they're bought by Justin Burnash. So every couple of weeks, I get to have a nice drive out to Rockaway Township, New Jersey, and we swap a car out, get the next one. My Sarah will be going up on, because my Sarah is now in a storage locker. Thankfully, avoiding the snow. So when I can say that when I put it up on my Sarah up on Cars and Bids, it never saw snow. So and it never did. So I had that one fantastic journey out to Adler, the Eagles place for Flappy New Year, which I shot and edited the documentary for a Flappy New Year, and shout out to those guys. And I'm flattered, and I'm honored and flattered to be invited back to be their documentary again. They raised $16,000 and change dollars in 27 hours.
That's incredible.
Yeah, for their charity. Flappy New Year is a charity, and they work with another charity called To Give Kids the World, which is itself a subsidiary of, the Make-A-Wish sort of things.
Mm-hmm.
And it was interesting to learn how Make-A-Wish works, is they subcontract out a lot of things. So if you have a kid and his Make-A-Wish is to just go to Disney World, they're like, fine. And then they subcontract out to whoever, and one of those people is Give Kids the World, Give Kids Disney World. And their thing is that they already have some property around the Orlando area near the resorts.
Okay.
And then they say, okay, if your kid, like terminal, help me out here.
Terminally.
Thank you. Terminally ill kid. And it's really touching. Like, shout out to whoever Give Kids the World hired to be their copy editor. They wrote some amazing lines.
Yeah.
And it's like a child gets to capture or recapture those childhood moments with his family that may have been lost due to hospital visits.
Yeah.
So, like, to think about a kid who's just in and out of hospitals his entire life, never had those like chances to run around and play and be a little kid. That's a good line, and it strikes with me.
Yeah.
So they get to go to the resorts for like a week or whatever. And
does Disney like let them like skip the lines or anything when they do that?
Yeah, they do.
I would hope so.
Yeah, they do. Dude, I was with like one time at Hershey Park with like some distant relative, and she was in a wheelchair, and I felt bad about it. But like, it's not just the kid who gets to skip the line, it's the whole freaking entourage. And we had like one of those special passes at Hershey Park, and we got to ride the ride twice, which meant the train, like your car came around again and you don't get off.
Yeah.
You just go around again.
That would be pretty sweet.
But I felt so like we are cheating the system here. Like me, Dad, Mom, Tim, freaking cousin Billy, everybody else. And we're just like sitting in the first like 3 cars of this train, the roller coaster train. And like everybody else, you see the line. I couldn't even look at the line. I just like looked over at the ride operator, or looked like down at the platform or whatever.
Sorry about you.
Sorry, man. Gotta wait for the next one.
But like, that's the part. Have you been to a theme park lately? Like, do you go anymore?
Just Knoebels, really. Last time I was there was, I think, for their version of Shocktoberfest. It was just where you ride the rides in the dark at Halloween. But that was the last time I was up at Knoebels, and that was like a year and a half. That was in the before times.
Yeah. It just doesn't I don't know. Like, I went to Hershey Park with my ex-girlfriend, and she's all about like roller coasters, and like it's fun still. But now I'm like, I'd much rather be doing this in a vehicle. I don't know what it is. Like it's a different experience. But like I just like waiting in line forever, and then I finally get up there, and then I'm like, this is like, it was okay, but like I don't know. It made me realize I was old. Yeah. Is what it made me think about. I was like, man, now I understand why my parents are like, yeah, fine, we'll go to Cedar Point. Like, they were like not interested.
Shout out to Foster, I think, who worked at Cedar Point.
Did he?
A little bit. Fuck, was it Cedar Point? What's that place on the big highway as you go towards Cincinnati?
I mean, Cedar Point's right by it. Yeah.
Right by Cincinnati?
Yeah.
Okay, so Mary was there.
Yeah, like north side of it.
I can ride like 4 coasters in a day. 3 or 4. And after that, I'm like, I'm good.
Yeah.
But I like, my favorite coasters are wooden coasters.
Yeah, that is more fun.
Yeah.
Or like a less crowded park. Because like a part of it for me is like it's that like I don't know. It's like the time invested versus the reward thing, where I'm like, wait a minute, I gotta stand in line for an hour and a half Then I'm going to be on something for 7 minutes. And then
Yeah.
I'm going to go wait in line for an hour. I'd much rather not do that.
Yeah, I mean that's my pitch for Nobles because the parking's
Mhm.
free and you just walk in, you just pay per ride. So if you just want to ride the Comet, which is like their flagship coaster, it's like $350.
Mm.
You want to go ride another coaster? Okay, maybe $250. You want to go get, and then you like eat like an ice cream sandwich or something like that. It's like, dude, I'm like in and out of this. Like you could have a full day at Knoebels for like $20.
Yeah.
And it's like, if you're in the line, it's like, whatever.
That's pretty. Well, don't they also, they have like the classic American, like free unlimited soft drinks or something? Isn't that part of their,
I don't,
or is that another one I'm thinking of? There was one of them, I remember that everybody, maybe that's the one in Southern Indiana, Holiday World. But I remember thinking like, that's like
that
a
sounds
great
like
name.
such a fucking Midwest thing.
It's such a
Holiday
great
World.
name, but it's also like, I think maybe that's one. But I remember just being like, God, how American is that? That they're like, if you don't like the roller coasters, all the soft drinks you want.
God, I gotta fucking call like Foster like right now. I'm a little bit drunk, but we're talking about things, and you gotta like chime in right now.
Get them on
Yeah,
speaker.
did get him on. If I can get Adler the Eagle like right the fuck now on Telegram.
Telegram.
Yeah, Telegram as well for his use. I don't know how it worked out that way. Telegram is like really like low system resources.
I've never even heard of it, but it sounds like something that they would later be like,
It's
the
pretty much-
Terracell was using Telegram.
It's pretty much Skype.
Okay.
So,
Free Skype.
yeah.
Because Skype, I think you have to pay now, don't you?
Ew, that sucks.
I'm pretty sure.
He didn't respond to my last thing. I'm freaking doing this thing. I'm freaking responding to it.
How uncomfortable is that he's sitting at home right now? And all of a sudden it's like, you're on a podcast.
Yeah,
As
like
we-
freaking, like hey, Foster. Like it's me and Ben McElwee, like right now, and we're talking
It's
about
like a Howard
we're
Stern thing to
do. we're like live streaming right now, and we're talking about like roller coasters, and I don't know what the thing's going on with like Midwestern roller coasters. He's talking about fucking Holiday World.
Dude, Holiday World. Holiday World was the greatest. Like, I don't think I ever actually went, but I just remember it sounds so creepy, doesn't it? It sounds like a generic, like it sounds like an amusement park in like a made-for-TV movie. Kids, we're going to Holiday World, right?
Dude, if you get this right now, just hop on Telegram or whatever, and I'll patch you through my soundboard, and we got to have like a three-way on this.
He's gonna have no idea what's going on.
No, I don't know. He like, dude, it's like 9 o'clock. I think the way he does his YouTube videos is that he just like gets to work at like 9 p.m. and like works until like 2 a.m. or something like that.
Oof.
I know that's when he's creative. I mean,
Yeah.
I just get all my stuff done by like 1. Like I wake up, coffee, oatmeal, and then I just get to editing. Like my whole deal with regular car reviews is that I don't do any fun things until I'm done with like my editing for the day.
Mm-hmm.
DeMarcus King says, "Hey Brian, I am traveling to Jamaica soon to shoot a documentary on the first Jamaican car company. Have you ever heard of Excel Motors?" No, I haven't. I'm all about people.
The
being
model is called
entrepreneurs.
the Island Cruiser. That's awesome.
Yeah, dude. I hope it's not like a rebadged like Great Wall or something like a Chinese car.
What's it? He said it's the first car company. I hope it's still in existence.
Right? Because like my first question is like, okay, where does the engine block come from? Because you got to cast that, or are you actually machining that? Because did like some of the all aluminum LSs, did they just machine those out of a giant block of aluminum? Or
I don't
I
know.
don't know. I forget which version of the LS is like the block is aluminum too.
It's a few of them, I think.
Yeah. It's Matto says Granada. I don't think that's Justin's. I think that's his friend Corey. But yeah, there's a Granada rolling around Pennsylvania with a Barra engine in it.
Really?
Yeah. From Australia, which is like the reverse LS, because everybody in Australia, New Zealand, all they want is LS engines, and here in United States, we just trip over them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're in every van. You can do whatever you want to them, but down in there, like their engine is the Barra, and it's just no one cares.
Do they run upside down though?
What'd you
There's
see?
your-
Island Cruiser, Excel Motors Limited. all right, they look kind of like a Volkswagen thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I
With
like
an
it.
extra headlight.
Yeah. I mean, I'm digging the quad headlights. I'm digging the, yeah. Mainland accepted 10,400 euros. So what, like maybe $18,000 or something like
Is
that?
that a euro? Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, that's not bad.
No. Andrew Palmer says, "Happy Friday. Have you seen Fortnite's video on the 250cc?" No, I got it recommended, but I didn't. Like a 250cc 4-cylinder for like some of Honda's crazy like small displacement fours. I do remember the thumbnail for that saying like it revs faster than the equivalent year F1 car.
Really?
But when you think about a 250cc is like that,
Yeah.
and now you have 4 cylinders. So what are they, like shot glasses?
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of a cool idea though, if you can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Holiday World and said, yeah, free soft drinks.
So
Yeah.
so Rocky LaRue says he says Holiday World in Santa Clara, Indiana, with free soft drinks.
Mhm.
The oldest wooden coaster, the Raven.
We're gonna have to go there now too.
Yeah, right. Do a Midwest tour this time.
I honestly don't think I ever went. I remember hearing about it all the time. I remember people like I went to college with, so it's like an hour or so away from where I went to college.
Mhm.
And I remember people like working there in the summer. But yeah, it's in Santa Claus, Indiana, which how do you argue with that?
All right, I got to get this thing up on. Yeah, 51% battery.
Did you respond?
No, but he freaking saw it.
So now you're blowing him up.
He freaking saw it. It's like I see 2 check marks there. You saw my message.
He's calling your bluff that you're
You
actually on a live stream right now.
Dude, that's such a good insult. I haven't used that insult in freaking forever. Dipshit.
Yeah, it cuts.
What if I call? What if I call him
on air?
Like make his phone ring like right now.
Do it. See what he does.
I should do it.
He's clearly, unless he's like hopefully he's not like stuck at work and he's just like, what the hell, man?
Well, he's a full-time YouTuber like me. I know he's home. I mean, occasionally, like he teaches like animation classes. So, but it's Friday night, man. Unless him and his boyfriend are out like having dinner or something.
Yeah, that could be.
All right.
We'll find out when we call him.
All right. So the headphones you got right there. They're wireless, so you just turn them on. I think they're all tuned in. Like that's like an old school one where it's literally a small radio signal.
Yeah.
Me, I gotta like. I gotta plug mine in. All right.
Like
Can I
watching a
hear
movie.
myself? No, I can't hear myself. Why can't I hear myself?
I can hear you,
You can hear me?
and I can hear me.
Oh, there. I just had to turn my headphones up.
Now we sound like in VR.
Hell yeah. Everybody in the chat is saying, do it, fucking call him.
It's just a really funny idea.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
you're like watching a movie with your significant other. All of a sudden, it's like you're
Ring,
on a
ring.
live stream.
Fucking Foster. Okay, so what's up with Holiday World? All right.
How do you feel about Holiday World as a former Cedar Point employee?
All right. Dude, that's a good line. That's what I'm going to ask him. Let's see if his phone
$10
rings.
says he doesn't answer
Yeah, he probably won't answer.
because he got the voicemail now. Now he knows.
It said it pick up. I don't know if he's listening.
Is he there?
I don't know, man.
Is the mute on? Is that what it's saying on there?
Is it say mute? I don't know. Oh, did this like not work? Foster's camera is off. My camera is off. I don't know, man. Oh, he just hung up on me. All right, whatever. I thought he could hear. Like we could hear it ringing.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So obviously, and like when I do calls in on the tablet, they have to hear it through the tablet. Oh, there it is. All right. Hey, oh, he's in a nice shirt. I'm sorry.
I'm in a robe.
You're in a robe. All right. Hey, it's Ben McElwee. He's here. We're doing a podcast and we're talking shit about the Midwest and we're talking shit about Holiday World theme park and we're talking about roller coasters. So what do you know about Holiday
Right.
World?
What do I know about Holiday World?
Yeah.
I used to work there. Did you know that?
No.
I thought
Yes,
it was
I
Cedar
used to
Point.
work
Brian thought
there.
it was Cedar Point.
Here, I'm going to turn off my video. So
All right. Yeah, it's fine.
So,
Ladies and
I
gentlemen,
used to work there.
Adler the Eagle, other YouTuber, also like we're live streaming right now. I hope that's okay. But
Yeah,
we're
that's
drinking Ben beer.
Yo, hi Ben.
Can you
are
hear
you,
Ben over there?
I
Yeah.
can a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, you're quiet too.
You can adjust.
Yeah.
You can adjust your volume. There's one of the knobs back there will adjust the volume.
Ah. There we go.
Ooh. So Holiday World. I used to work there. It was in 2000. It was the year I graduated college, so it would have been 2017.
Yeah.
It was that summer. And I was the digital marketing assistant is what my position was, but basically I was just the camera guy.
Did you
So,
get free
I
unlimited
just went
soft
around
drinks?
the park and took pictures.
Did you have all the free unlimited soft drinks you wanted?
Oh yes, all day. Like that was actually kind of a problem because I would just be drinking it all day.
It's just so damn American, isn't it? That's what
It's
gets
the
people to the
It
park.
is the most American thing. Free parking, free sunscreen, free soft drinks.
Oh, I didn't
That's
know the
Holiday
free
World's motto,
sunscreen.
and you know it's going to be a weird time when those are the three things that they're.
What
they're
kind of
showing.
bulk generic sunscreen are they buying? Like what? Just
don't-
giant
I
vats of
honestly-
sunscreen?
They're just buying like 55-gallon
Just
drums.
drums?
And there's a guy named Mike whose
just-
entire job is to just be there.
He just pumps it out.
No, he's just using like in his hands and he's just scooping it into like popcorn tubs. It's like, here's your sunscreen. My name's Mike.
There is literally someone's job who they go around and fill them back up, and they use like mayonnaise.
Ew.
It's so gross.
Like it comes out of those like when you get like ketchup out of like a pump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
That's
like
what I'm
that.
picturing. Yeah, just like, but it's like hooked to just a big blue tub.
Oh
That's
yeah.
awesome.
We got a shout out from Rocky LaRouge, says, "Hey Adler." Don't know if you know him or not. No, because we were talking like this whole thing got like we had like that conversation about suspiciously rich furries, and I got someone
Oh yeah.
like pictures of someone who's posing in their fursuits next to a Ferrari 812 Superfast and another Lexus LFA,
Right.
which there exists 500 of these cars were ever made in the world, and there's like 100 in the country. How much is like Ben? How much do you think an LFA is worth right now?
I'm sure at least 1.5 million.
1.5 million.
I have to imagine, right? I mean, I don't know. Somebody in the chat will tell me I'm crazy, but like they're now this ridiculous collector's item. Nobody's selling them.
Yeah, it's God damn it. I don't want to take up too much of your time. Thank you for joining my call.
He just came back. Foster just came
Yeah,
back
of
from the
course.
opera. He had seats at the opera, and now you're putting him on blast.
Yeah, he's on opera. He went
Right.
to he went to go see Chester sing really loud, and
Right. So okay, real quick before I hang up.
Yeah.
Fun fact about Chester. He sang so well during one of the things at Flappy New Year that it caused a copyright.
no.
Really?
Well, I was.
Yeah.
What did he sing? Like
So-
old Lang Syne or something like that? Or was it
Yeah,
something
it
else?
was here. I could look it up. I'll like text you what it is later.
Hell
But
yeah.
it was some song he sang, and then it was good enough that YouTube like copyright algorithm was like, that's the official recording.
wow.
Oh man.
Which is just kind of like, it's kind of like, dang it, Chester, but also
Yeah.
like, damn, Chester.
Damn Chester.
Yeah.
Kind of one of those.
Like perfect vocal control. We got to get him back somehow. Because he like what
Oh,
moved
yeah,
away
yeah,
from
for
town,
sure.
right?
yeah, he's all over the place. So
Yeah.
He's a super cool guy, though.
Yeah. Ladies and
Heck
gentlemen,
yeah. Well, I'll
YouTube,
leave you guys to it. Have a good podcast.
thank you for taking our call, Adler.
Thank you.
Thank you for being part of the podcast.
Yeah, of
Have a
course.
good night.
See ya.
Bye. A man for all seasons, Foster, aka Adler the Eagle.
Good guy. That's funny. The power is on one side and everything else is on the other. That's unusual.
Yeah. Yeah, that thing's hooked in through component cables over here. I'm gonna mute my tablet, mute Telegram. That was cool that he called in.
Yeah.
Or actually, he actually took my call. Yeah, Rocky LaRue says, yeah, it was Slate with the super fast. I was talking to him about it. It's gonna require some social maneuvering for me to have that LFA for a few hours. But I told Slate that, yeah, just whatever. Just name
But if this guy's
name
this
the time.
generous with his vehicles, I mean, because there are a lot of people that are in that category of like,
Yeah.
sort of car people and rich, where they're like, yeah, just do whatever you want to with it, right?
Oh, hey, it's Brandon. Brandon says it was Slate and Sterling. So he knew. Okay, so someone else in the chat knows exactly who was in those pictures.
No, yeah,
Slate
you
was
gotta
also
do
the
it.
guy when we did the Chicago for one time. Like we used his he had the Golf Sportback. It was pretty much a Golf station wagon, but it was whatever Volkswagen AG was calling their Golf. No, excuse me, no, Jetta Sport wagon.
Yeah.
So it was the turbo something. It was a decently fast thing.
Is that a 2-liter or was that?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Either 1.8 or 2 something.
Yeah, 1.8. You're right.
Rave the Fulf says Sterling is good people. Excellent. Everybody in the chat. So Rave the Fulf is the guy who owned the Suzuki Cappuccino that we reviewed that had a tune on it. It was a Suzuki Cappuccino 3-cylinder 660 cc engine making 120 horsepower.
Really?
Yeah. He had that thing when he was stationed in Japan. He had a tuner shop. Just like that thing was at the limit of what that little
gonna say,
transmission could take.
I just picture like a rubber band stretched all the way out. Like one small problem, bam.
That was an amazing little car, and he's sad he had to sell it, but you know,
Suzuki has such a bad rep here. Because remember when they tried to roll out, I don't know if they did it here in the Midwest, they like tried to make a go of like, we're going to have our own new car dealerships.
Like when they had the, like, what was it? The Isuzu Trooper, that SUV thing?
No, I'm talking the Suzuki. What do they have? They had like the Esteem or they had all these like, I'm a car person and I couldn't tell the difference between one ship box to the next. And they were all like $10,000 somehow. But like they tried it for like 6 months. And then
What years are we talking about?
Probably 2003, 2004, somewhere in that range.
John says the Suzuki Sidekick. Is that
No, I don't think it was that. It was cars. They weren't SUVs. They were just little cars. But they were like, yeah, like they were just these little tiny. One started with an A. Oh man, I don't even remember the name. But like they were just so terribly made. Like I remember people like like having transmission failures on a non-CVT at like 7,000 miles. It was just
like a regular.
and then
torque
the best
converter.
part was like they weren't covering them. They were just like, nope, that's not covered under the warranty. But doesn't have a 50,000 mile warranty. Yeah, but not for the transmission. Like they just like they were just terribly made, and people were like getting upside down.
Sucks.
Yeah,
that sucks so bad.
honestly though, I remember because there was a used car dealer that had like a ton of volume near my hometown,
Yeah.
and they became like a Suzuki new car dealer, and it was like maybe it was 2 years, and they were like, nope, Suzuki doesn't exist anymore. It's not a thing.
Not my problem anymore.
We don't do it.
I'm just looking at his response to the outgoing video call is just this.
I don't want to deal with you. Is that what that is?
I don't know, but he sent me a voicemail.
You
Like,
want another beer?
I'm still working on that one.
You're almost there.
No, I'm not. Don't bring me another beer.
want an old fizzy.
Get no seltzer, please.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you. For taking my call. You rule. Cameron Mayen says, what is a car you hate with every fiber of your Nissan Altima, but could convince someone else to buy and use as a daily? Oh, shit. A car that I hate. All right. Because did you see the Facebook group called Nissan Altima Energy?
Yes.
Yes.
I joined it.
It includes people like having fist fights and
Yeah.
stuff. And there's like one Nissan Altima that just has glitter paint on the outside of the car on every trim piece. I'm like, these are the biggest, and it's not. And people think it's like ghetto shit. It's not.
No.
It's everybody.
If you somehow something about buying a Nissan Altima just makes you be like, let's fuck some shit up.
Dude,
I don't know what it is.
Dude, I gotta show you a picture, and this is great for podcasts, something that you can't see, but like pure Berks County, like dog trash. Like my buddy Jim Schulman sent me this picture. I can't post it because it's like he was at the Hamburg, Pennsylvania has a festival called the Hamburg Fest.
Which is awesome.
Hamburger Festival.
Hamburger,
You
yeah.
just eat burg all day. Who can make the best burg? Well, and then there's everybody else selling dream catchers or whatever.
Mhm.
And then like he took me this
Vuvuzelas or
picture
something.
of like these like moms who may have been hot in high school selling like body oils, and it's a I looked up that name of that company. It's an MLM. So
Weird.
but just like zoom in on the picture. It's like these two like fat moms. One of them's vaping, the other's on
Yeah.
their phone. There's a half drunk quart of like Turkey Hill iced tea on the floor. There's a third folding chair in the background, meaning there's a third.
Well, the third
There's-
folding chair also has a cow on it.
Mhm,
We
mhm.
won't say the name of the brand. We're not going to
Yeah.
disparage.
Yeah.
But the woman has high heels that she's taken off.
Yeah.
Some tattoos that haven't been very well maintained, it seems.
No.
But the real curiosity to me is, what is this? There's like an occasional table in the middle,
Yeah, a tiny little cocktail table
but it's not flat.
about the size of a marching snare drum.
And it's clearly whatever this was made from. I mean, it's at an angle, a significant angle, but yet it looks like a glass top to it, and then a significant amount of what looks to be bed sheets,
Yes.
making up.
Yes,
The-
making up the tablecloth. The tablecloth is touching the sidewalk where they're perched up with their little sales booth. They have one piece of product. They have a little glass vase with fake flowers in it,
Mhm.
which I'm assuming is they are.
Mhm,
And then there's one piece of product
mhm.
on the center of that table.
And you have to imagine they sell more than this one product. So did they not bring anything with them? Were they like censored? Like, was this, because I imagine based
Well,
on the name,
if it's an MLM, they have a bunch of product at home and they sell to their friends. And
yeah,
then they call themselves, hey, we're a girl boss.
definitely call themselves that.
Yeah. I looked up the name of that company and they got in a scandal that they go hard on military wives,
Ooh.
who need friends because their husbands are all moving
Well,
around the
MLMs
country.
in general are just like,
Yeah.
I just got no interest. Just creepy.
Oh, so Cameron Mayen had a very good question. What is a car that I hate, but I could convince someone else to buy and use as a daily? Okay, so let's start with the Nissan Altima. It's not a great car, but the car itself isn't bad. It's just an car. Is it a Honda Accord? No. Is it a Camry? No. It just beats them on price. So if you just need a car and you find one for $2,000,
Mhm.
fuck it.
But you also have to factor in a time frame or a mileage aspect, because the CVT will grenade.
Yeah, 80,000 to
yeah.
120,000 miles.
Like, are you leasing this car for a 2-year period
Oh,
where you're going
fuck
to
you.
drive
Yeah,
12,000 miles a year?
a new one?
Yes.
Fine.
Yeah.
Fine. Whatever. Like if you have if your game plan is to drive a Nissan Altima, lease it,
Mm-hmm.
hustle and grind for 2 years, trade it in and put your name in for a 350Z or
Mhm.
whatever they're having now, whatever
Mhm.
they're calling the new Z car,
Yeah. What is it? 400? I don't know.
400Z. Hey, I will have no problem with that
Mm-hmm.
if you do that. But the whole buy here, pay here Nissan
Yeah.
Altimas.
But even then, why would you do that with an
like,
Altima?
You're like on methadone and stuff like that.
Yeah. Like, why would I not buy the Camry?
Why would I not buy the Camry?
It's more boring.
Yeah,
but I know that it will hold residual value better,
always.
right?
Camry
So
will
like,
always be worth something.
yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
why would I not do that on a lease unless I got a sweet lease term? Like, do you remember when Kia was trying to make a name for themselves like 10 years ago now, like 2011, 2012?
That badass warranty that they would have.
Well, the warranty, but then they were doing these lease terms that were like no money down, $170 a month, and you can have this thing for 3 years and as many miles as you can drive. Like they were just like desperate to get people to take these cars. They were just making them. They were like, please take this from us.
Yeah.
Like that, I can see if Nissan was doing that, where it was just like whatever terms, maybe. But then you also have to drive really fast for some reason.
I know. There's like people like put Nissan Altimas and Gran Turismo 5, and just like Nissan Altima on the way to work, and just like
yeah, because they
tumbling end over end. There was someone on like Ultima Energy or like what was that Facebook group? Something.
It's like Big Ultima Energy or something.
Energy.
Yeah.
And it's like Nissan Altima with like rear three-quarter damage under the taillight, some whatever SUV between them, and another one with the exact same damage in the back, just blown out.
It's sort of like Camrys with dented bumpers. Have you ever seen that group? Yeah.
Yep.
But no, can we talk though for a minute about Facebook, about the crux of the internet, literally the core of it, which is that Nissan Murano Cross Cabriolet group that I found.
Tell everybody about that.
I don't know what the name of it is. I got to look it up to find it. But
it's a troll, right? They're trolling.
Well, so that's the amazing part is it's, as far as I can tell, there's in this same group trolls who are doing nothing but making fun of the Nissan Murano Cross Cabriolet, right? Just like which is like the SUV convertible the Nissan made for all, which appeals to no one. It appeals to no one, but I kind of love it that they made it.
Except those girls who are selling that MLM on
the sidewalk. They would drive that.
They would drive a Nissan Cabriolet,
but like,
Nissan Murano Cross Cabriolet.
It does nothing well, right? But it's like I almost love it that Nissan made it because they were just like, maybe people want this, right? Like that was like I kind of like it that they tried it. It's terrible in all ways. But the group is...
It's a car for someone whose height of like bar culture is doing shots of Goldschlager.
Yeah. Yeah. And they're still doing it. They're age 75 now.
And they're drinking...
They're still doing it for some reason.
You're 75 years old and you're drinking Goldschlager.
This is your car.
Here's your fucking car,
Here you are.
Nissan Cabriolet.
But it's like, it's not... What's so special about this group is it's trolls doing nothing but making fun of it.
Yeah.
Coupled with actual diehard enthusiasts of this vehicle who are making serious posts about it, coupled with basically the same people who come to the Consumer Review to do nothing but shit on a brand because they got a bad one.
Yeah.
So they're like, I bought one of these, transmission died, worth nothing now. Nissan needs to warranty this. It's 12 years old. Why wouldn't any car manufacturer warranty that? But it's like the greatest combination of it's like the core of the internet to me. It's so good.
Boxed Fossil says the Cross Cabriolet is Savage Geese's dream car. No, it is.
Is it really?
Is it Mark's dream car?
Oh, please tell me no.
Do I have Savage Geese's phone number still?
It has no. It has
a
no
guy
rear visibility.
Just have on the podcast.
Yeah, he would be fun.
God damn, this is a good podcast. Thanks for the beer.
No,
like half the time it's like Nick and I doing this, and I'm like coming off the coffee from riding in this morning. Not that the podcasts with Nick aren't good. This is just a different style. I guess it's down to the like this table that I can like. I never eat fries because I'm Captain Fitness, and this is just carbohydrates. It's doing nothing for me, but in my mouth it goes.
They're delicious, though.
You want some?
I'm all right.
It's like I'm eating cold French fries from your neighborhood Italian restaurant. They're not really steak fries.
They're thick though,
but they're not like those like little fries I kind of like. They're probably just like food service fries.
They're almost McDonald's.
Yeah,
except thicker.
Yeah. So Boris T.S. Karloff, thank you. Wouldn't be a podcast without you. In future giveaways, will be there other items to choose from, such as key tags? Short answer, no. Beanies or bucket hats, probably not. T-shirts, maybe, or other novelty items. The mugs are I like the mugs, but running out of cabinet space. Cheers. Thank you for buying the mugs. I defer my judgment to online marketing to Justin Bernash because he's been doing it for as long as I've been doing YouTube and knows more about that than I do. I do have some control over what picture applies to the mug, but I have not exercised that privilege yet. I would have to design it.
You
Let me
should,
t-
by the
I-
way, make a beanie version of the Falcon and do that instead.
Yeah, we got that like really high quality image of the Falcon over there. It's weird that I miss the Falcon, but I don't miss working on it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just going on Twitter right now. Okay, I'll listen to your email in a minute, but we're still streaming here. I'm responding to one guy who says, "Do you have any like? Can you do anything other than the mugs for the car giveaways?" And I'm just pressing the button on the record button for Telegram for Foster, but I'm open to the idea if we ever do another car video that involves Adler the Eagle, that we can collaborate on a design like an Adler designed mug with like his brand on it, or possibly like a combined one that would involve like his audience as well as mine for some sort of future thing. And I think that would be cool. We'd have to figure out what kind of car it would be. But anyway, thank you, Foster. I'm going to listen to your thing in a minute, but I don't want to play it on stream because I don't know what it involves. Because when you see like a 40-second email, it's like, oh, this is going to be. Can't wait to come visit next month. Have a good night, and hope you got the link to the documentary. Bye. So yeah, I'll talk to Bernash about that. But the thing is about mugs, and hear me out with the mugs thing, is that the car, you have to have some sort of piece of merchandise that applies to the biggest amount of people possible. And the thing about the bucket hats, which as much as I love them, and it's my favorite piece of merch, is that some people, like Nick Roman, the other half of RCR, who have large heads, can't wear them.
Mm-hmm.
So now why are you limiting the amount of audience? Everybody needs to put things in stuff and put them in their mouths.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, I mean, that's why McDonald's, who did those commemorative plates that everybody bought in the 90s? Fuck, it was like Star Wars shit. You know what? It was everything shit. It was like those like blue screen commercials, like honor the memory of your loved one who served in the military, or how about a plate that just says Marine Corps on it? You know, that sort of stuff.
But they were all collectible.
Yeah.
And they have no value now.
No.
Yeah.
God, like my favorite thing is like the people who figured out how to use either some version of a CNC machine on concrete to make like the Anchors Away logo for all your Navy veterans. So you can take this round piece of concrete and prop it up next to another rock near your driveway. I see that shit around. I mean, it's genius to whoever figured that marketing thing out.
Right.
That all you need is like a roller filled with blue paint and like Anchors Away and like an anchor.
But you have to have like the people have to have a collective cause. Like so my dad lives in northern Indiana on the lake, right? And a lot of his neighbors have this, it's like, and maybe it's a thing with lakes, I don't understand, but it's like it's like a circle, like a nautical thing, and then it has like the people's name and then established as in like when they bought the lake house. But you see one, you're like, oh, that's kind of cool that they did that when they bought it, and you're like, wait, they have one. They have one, and they're just like somebody's figured out that like everybody wants this shit, and so and I'm sure it's like $300, right, for some piece of aluminum that somebody made into this shape, and now they're gonna like they're making $150 a pop and just sending it out.
Yeah, you know, my parents got one of those things in the mail where they like somebody in like a Cessna 172 Skyhawk rolled around with like a Canon AE1 and took pictures of people's houses, and they would mail this thing like you could have this picture, and they freaking bought one.
Did they?
It was an all right picture. I don't know what they paid for it.
Yeah.
Now they have Google
I always
Maps,
figure though,
so you can do like print screen. And
you got to talk people down. Like I have to imagine, right? So they went up in the helicopter. Now they're coming around door to door.
Dude, they did helicopters unless it's a Robinson R22, like it's way more economical to fly around in a Cessna 150 or a Cessna 172 at like half flap, nice and slow. You don't even need half flap. You can just fly normal cruising
you're
speed with like a 1,000 shutter speed and take a picture of some Joe Blow's house.
But I just have to imagine. So they come to your door.
Or it has to be a Cessna because you have to have a wing on the top of the plane.
Yeah, you're right. But like, so they come to your door. They go, okay, we're gonna sell you this shit.
Oh, Adler responded to this. He said, "We'll get back to planes in a second." Ooh, Adler mug. I would love that. He says the picture is about my. That's a sunburn. You can play it on Scream. I duded it up. He says that's a. Does he look sunburned to you?
No.
How is he sunburned?
What is his skin color normally?
I don't know. He just looks normal.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Is he normally like incredibly pale?
I don't remember. He spent his summers just at like Cedar Point and Fancy
Holiday
Land.
World.
Fancy
Holiday
Land.
World.
Fancy Land.
No, Holiday World.
I gotta tell him that. Like, we were talking about Holiday World, and I forgot what it was called. And I just called
Fancyland, actually.
Fancyland.
That would be
Where
a good.
the fuck did he work? Fancyland.
That would be a fun park to go to, right? Everything is like incredibly ornate.
All right. Boris T.S. Karlov, we're moving on for this. I got to pee really quick, but Aaron Crutchfield said, to clarify the last question, I asked why the website is called regularcarreview.com instead of regular car reviews, because some dipshit is sitting on regularcarreviews.com, and I don't feel like paying his dumbass. So it's regularcarreview.com. Thank you for the question. Thank you for regular car reviews. D. Fowler says, for the Pacific Northwest trip, I submitted a 2022 Ford Maverick about 2 days ago, never located near Beaverton. I would also likely have a loaner car you can use. That's very interesting to me. I will admit that we did already film in Pittsburgh a Maverick that will be coming out at some point. So I already filmed a Maverick. Sorry. And I don't know if we really need a loaner car, because Frederick Knudsen from Down the Rabbit Hole offered to just drive us around in his Toyota Highlander that he drives, that while he was away in Austria, someone stole his catalytic converter out of that because he street parked it.
What?
Yeah. Portland, man.
Yeah,
someone stole his catalytic converter out of his Highlander.
It's a great town, but there's a lot of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, even now, all right, like he's like, I love, excuse me. I love Frederick Knudsen, but it's like me getting hit with like an unseen like $300 bill. It's like, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I don't know what his take is because he launches a video like twice a year. So I don't know what his monthly take is from YouTube or not.
Yeah.
So maybe that was like a more bullshit hit than it would have been for me. But
the videos you post are good.
Yeah, but yeah, and that's the other thing. Like his consistently does 2 million. He does Doug DeMuro hits like views on, where I'm like, if I hit 150,000 views by Wednesday, I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
Rocky LaRouge says Holiday World in Santa Clara, Indiana, with free
Santa Claus, please. That's what it's called.
Santa Clara.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Santa Claus. Think about it. The town is called Santa Claus, Indiana. How could it not be called Holiday World?
Did you ever see this one Old Onion article? I think it was one of the things where they have headlines but no article, and it said Midwestern dad mesmerized by sliding pen with the little slidey thing that went up and down.
With the lady that gets naked.
Yeah.
Like...
All right. So Foster says I can play this bit on stream. And if he said I could, that means I could. Nick Kennedy says there's a lot of people stealing cats in Seattle and Tacoma as well.
Stealing cats?
Catalytic converters.
Oh, that makes more sense.
I want to find like a question that Ben McElwee couldn't answer. Hopefully it's a Rise Against says bang, marry, kill, or Molly Ringwald now, your third grade teacher, Roman.
Oh, there
What?
you go. There's the top one.
The top one? Okay, yeah, it is a Ben question. Okay, I gotta pee really quick. Ben can answer.
We're
this
timing you. Ready? Go.
question. Go.
So here's my story with my Land Cruiser. Sad story. Late October, I was coming off an off ramp from the interstate, and it's normally a yield where you have your own lane, but they're doing construction right now, so it's a stop sign, and basically what would have been your own lane is now you're merging into 2 lanes of traffic, if that makes any sense. So I was behind a tanker truck. The tanker truck stopped, started going through the intersection, and so I'm slow, and I was probably going like 5 to 7 miles an hour. So the tanker truck, like I'm kind of approaching them, they've stopped, they start to go through. So your mind kind of goes like, okay, this is no longer an obstacle. So I'm looking to see if traffic is clear because there's like a big construction sign. So there's not really room to see by the time you get to the stop sign. So I'm kind of looking to see where traffic is. I look back, bam, right into the back of the tanker truck. So completely and totally my fault. One of those things that just like, I don't know how long I've been driving and, I don't have accidents, but it happened. So I'm sad to say my Land Cruiser got totaled. It was one of those interesting cases where I think Geico gave me like 25,000 or something like that for it. And you figure that's probably on the low side of the market right now. If you've seen the Land Cruiser market right now, it's insane. But they gave me that. And you go like, well, how can it be that much in damage? Well, the body shop said it was about 17 grand in damage. And I looked it up afterwards, and Copart, or whoever it was who had sold it, I think it was Copart, sold it for like $14,300. So you do the math on it, Geico actually made out better than they would have if they had simply done the repair, right? Geico effectively paid me 25 and then got 14 for it. So they're only out like 11 grand versus if they had done it the other way. So made sense they totaled it, but I'm sad to lose it. But I actually have a 2022 vehicle coming in. I think I can share it, right? There's no reason. So I have a 2022 Toyota Tundra that Toyota has said will be delivered by mid-January. And by that, they mean the end of January. And by that, they mean sometime in February. So at some point between now and June, I'm going to have a 2022 Toyota Tundra.
Hell yeah.
So.
And we'll have Rusty. We'll get a comparison between the two.
We have to, because the amazing part, and I don't want to give away the video here, but like the amazing part is how similar the two of them are, and it's the oldest Tundra you can own, and the newest Tundra you can own. That's what's exciting here.
My mom told me that she got like an email from Carvana because somehow they got like her information.
Mm-hmm.
My mom drives like a 2016 Passat.
Mm-hmm.
They offered her $31,000 for it.
What? Isn't that what they cost new?
Right.
What were they new? Like 35?
Right.
That's wild.
And she says, I don't want to sell this thing because, it's going to go to Carvana and then they'd post it for like 39 or 41 or something.
Something
fucking
absurd.
Insane like that. Although
especially for a Passat. I mean, no offense to your mom, but let's face it, a Passat.
Like when I was telling her about the giveaway car and she says like, well, it's comfortable, isn't it? Because it's like a luxury brand. It's like, it's worse than this. Because we were like, she was giving me a ride to pick it up because it needed a new serpentine belt.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, okay, well, this is like mid-2000s luxury. Volkswagen can make a nice, very nice, quiet interior.
Mm-hmm.
And they have Volkswagen AG has a very good way of making kind of like Starbucks mocha pleasure when you get into the car. It's, this is nice.
Yeah.
But it's not Mercedes. But I think I'm like, I don't really think about Volkswagen AG one way or the other. I like the R32 and I like the Golf GTI.
GTI, cool. GLI. Yeah, those are fun.
Yeah. But that's about all that I really think about. The Touareg was kind of interesting.
That was cool. Yeah, that was weird.
You think it's cool?
Yes.
Tell me why.
Because, I mean, first off, like, I don't, it's one of those, I don't know that I would own one, but it's cool because while everybody else was like, we're supposed to make a mid-size SUV, and they all went bargain basement.
Mhm.
Volkswagen was like,
Oh
what
yeah,
if
like
we charge double
like
the
a
price?
Hyundai Santa Fe or
Yeah.
some bullshit.
Yeah, or like, and even like my favorite brands, like what Toyota was making at the time, right? Was like, oh, you just want some kind of a generic. Here's a Highlander. Is that what you were looking for? Is
Yeah.
that like, you know? And they were selling a ton of them by
Mhm.
volume, and people liked them, and there's nothing wrong with it. If that's
Mhm.
what you want, and that's what you need. But like Volkswagen was like, what if we made it really expensive? Right? Like, what if we made it really good? Because it could actually, like, it was a unibody, but it could actually off-road,
Mhm.
right? And then they were like, oh, we'll make a Porsche out of it, right? Which is the Cayenne, right?
Fuck off. Did I really not know that?
That's
That the
basically what they
Cayenne
were.
is a
Yeah, they were like,
Touareg?
they were twins.
God damn it.
But like, and they had a TDI version, and somebody's gonna tell me I'm wrong, but I think I'm right on that. But like, they had like a TDI version, and they were like overbuilt, and yes, they were still a German car, so they broke all the time, but they were just like different and cool, and they had like that weird roof rack that you could move to the back and make it a spoiler, and they had an air suspension, and they were just like so weird. And then like the last generation, I remember when they finally like were like, okay, we're giving it up, we're gonna make the Atlas instead.
Right.
That last generation, I remember them being like, because they were expensive, they were like 65, 70 grand by the time they finished.
Really?
And I remember them like they were like 10 grand off sticker, because they were just like, nobody wants this anymore, because they came out with the Atlas, and the Tiguan had been out for a while, right, which is the little guy. And then like everybody's like, oh, I just want a VW SUV, I'm buying those.
Yeah.
But like the Touareg was like, I don't know, it was like the wealthy, it was like the upper middle class ladies vehicle.
Yeah.
If they had money.
Yeah.
Right. And so
Like
to me, it's like
your Wyomissing, Whitehall.
yes.
What's that other community near Allentown that's also really upscale? Fuck. It's past where you work, and it's like you head down 309 a little bit, but you're not Quakertown yet. There's some other community down there.
Hellertown?
Hellertown's nice, but
Saucon Valley. That's like
that's probably where I'm thinking.
That's basically Hellertown. They're like the same.
Okay.
Yeah. And they're like country club.
Yeah.
But like that's like VW, the Touareg to me was like an incredibly unreliable Land Cruiser. Right? It was like the Land Cruiser's foil. Right? It was like, we're both expensive, and we don't really do anything for what we are for expensive for most people, but you be reliable and I'll be unreliable, and we'll see which one sells better. And the answer was neither. Neither one sold well.
Let's get these cans on and hear what Forrester had to say to us.
Did you just call him Forrester?
Did I? Okay.
Now you're playing solitaire.
Well, this is the cheapest Amazon tablet you can get.
And defaults to ads.
Yeah, oh, dude, it gives you ads on your startup screen, because it's fucking.
It's a Jeff Bezos idea. If I've ever heard of
right?
It. Here's your almost free tablet. By the way, you got to watch a lot of shit.
I know this is all this thing does now is acts as a call-in thing for the podcast.
It's a very thin tablet too. What resolution? Like that's not even.
It's not
by
good.
9.
No, it's not good. Here, I'm just gonna unplug it for a second. Feel how light this thing is.
It's just very strange. Like
that's the cheapest Amazon Fire you can buy.
It actually
has like 16. It's like I think it has like 8. It's some dumb memory, like 8 gigs or 16 gigs of memory.
And this is is it too late to disparage one of your giveaway cards? Is it too early? Not to disparage, but to ask questions.
Oh, which one?
The one that you've already done.
The latest one, the one video that came out.
No, the prior one that had a very loud exhaust.
Mazda Speed 3.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like that is in the same category of tablet of the Mazda, where it's like, I like this, but what is it for? What do I do with you?
Well, I mean, the Mazda Speed 3 was just like, it's like for listening to Crystal Method. I want you to trip like I do.
Yeah.
Everything was green and good until the crystal cracked. And as you blow off valve, I mean,
which was
Mazda
when you
Speed
hit a
3
bump, I think, actually, with the Mazda.
What's that?
That was when everything was no longer good, was when you hit a bump.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it had hard suspension, but it was fun. Like, I legitimately like that.
I love driving it, but that's what I mean. Like, I loved driving it, but driving it, the whole time I was driving it, I was like, what are you for? Like, what
Did
What do
someone
you
try to
do?
race you? Someone tried to race you, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
a
Where
guy
was
in an
that?
Acura. He
A
was
guy in
like
an
a guy in
Acura?
an older Acura TL. I was on the interstate, and he like so he's just hanging out in the passing lane.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm not speeding. Like I think it's a speed limit 65, and I was going like 74, 70. Like I mean,
Yeah.
it was but I was not going like excessively fast.
Yeah.
And so he's just hanging out in the passing lane going like 65. So I just go past him still with cruise control on in the slow lane because
Yeah.
I just haven't changed lanes. It's not like I'm like passing him on the right. I just literally like continued. He was the only car on the road. This is like 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
He speeds up, goes like it gets up to like 80, goes way ahead of me, and like almost like he had to prove like I can go faster than you. And I'm like, well, please, by all
Please
means,
do.
keep going. We're not racing. And then he slows back down, and then he does it again. Like he slows back down to a parallel, and then he just hits it this time and goes again up to like 90 miles an hour. And I'm just like, okay, we'll see you later.
Bye, I guess.
Yeah,
Uh,
via con Dios, man. Like I don't know what you were looking for me to do here, but
That's brilliant. I'm gonna check the chat going by really quick.
oh, we missed a super chat if we did my Land Cruiser conversation.
Yeah, was yours at the very top?
Yeah, we missed Mantra Rancho.
Okay, Rise Against said bang merely killer Raleigh Wingwall now your third grade teacher or Roman. Like none of them. Like I never had a thing. Well, I'm gay, so whatever. But I did have a teacher I had a crush on in the 6th grade, and I won't say her name because I know she like it was one of those deals where the teacher married another teacher in the school district.
Mm-hmm.
And like as a kid, you're like, yeah, that makes sense because these are only the people who exist in the world. This is your entire world. So why wouldn't she marry?
And they
Mr.
live at this school, right?
Of course.
They're just here.
But like she was an English teacher and it was a 6th grade English teacher. And then like she was nice to me. And you know, you're a little kid and here's like a young teacher being nice to you. And that's all it took. Like, oh, she's nice. And I still remember her by her main name. Brian Allen doesn't have a question, but thank you for the $5. Nick Kennedy says, any opinion on Marta Rancho? And I don't know what that means.
I don't know either.
And thank you for $6.90. Nice. All right. So while you're looking that up, people in the live stream, we're going to press play here on Adler the Eagle's voicemail. So here we go. Okay, I'll listen to your email in a minute. Oh, that's me giving it to him. That's me talking to him.
It looks like, is it based on a discovery?
Well, all right. It looks like a Discovery with round headlights.
What is it?
What is it? Here we go. Press play.
Bro, so I'm at my parents' house right now and I'm wearing this robe because I got in my parents have a tanning bed, like this old tanning bed, and I'm like getting that winter blahs, like, you know, like the sun isn't out, so I was like, I'm gonna jump in there for like 5 minutes just to feel some warmth. And I jumped in and I set an alarm on my watch and I fell asleep, and then I wake up 45 minutes later because my watch died, and now I look like a lobster and I'm burnt all over my body because I got in naked. So like straight up, my balls are red like lobsters. Okay, I'll listen to your
Oh my God.
but we're still streaming here. I'm responding to. That's me. Just how do I pause myself? There I am.
Oh, have you ever been in a tanning bed?
All right, dude. Like, I never did a tanning bed before. Like, this is half me recording and half me getting on the mic. All right, first of all, mad respect to lobster balls. Second one is like my gym. Like, when you come back to Oberg again and visit here, my gym has like a killer ass sauna. Dude, if you've not experienced 180 degrees for like 20 minutes, like maybe secretly bring a drink into the sauna, which is like the very wrong thing you're supposed to do. You're not supposed to drink in the sauna. But dude, you know,
It's a fitness club.
It's a fitness club. Fuck it, I'm a member. And so yeah, mad respect to getting lobster balls in the sauna. My gym does have tanning beds, but I never tried it. Tell me if you did get that vitamin D and serotonin boost from the sauna. Thank you very much. Bye. other than the mugs for the car giveaways. And I'm just pressing the button on the. Oh, there we go. Man, I'm getting all the meat off this bone off this mixing board. I'll tell you what. Rocky LaRue says Adler the Baked. Awesome. All the seasons came something Outback, something like that. May I have a beer, please, Ben? I think he's in the bathroom. Wait, if he used the bathroom, that sink doesn't work. Hold on. I'll be right back, guys. Ben, are you in the bathroom there? Just so you notice, the water is turned off in the sink in there, so you're going to have to use the kitchen sink. All right. And may I have a beer as well? Something light that won't wreck me. What's that? Something light that won't wreck me. Yeah. Wait, why do I need the cans? I don't need the cans. Rocky LaRue says it's so. Rocky, do you live in Indiana? I forget. You told me, but I forgot. Do you also live in Indiana? Let me know. Beza says, did I miss the whole podcast? No, you didn't. We're still like halfway through the super chats right about now. So yeah. See all. Wait. Go back. Refresh. So yeah, you didn't miss anything. We only have one question. Car Foolery says, I also have a 1993.
I think you'll like this one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I also have a 1993 MR2 Turbo that was stolen overnight while visiting my friend in Northwest Portland. They ruined the interior, but I got it back after 3. That sucks, man. That really sucks. I don't know what to say, but yeah.
345,000 miles on an MR2 is amazing.
Yeah. All right. So our selection is Sam Adams Old. This is new to me.
Mm-hmm.
Old Freezing, Rich and Spiced.
Old Fezziwig. It's
Fezzy, excuse me.
Yeah. Yeah, I would I think you're gonna like it if you like it's kind of smooth, a little bit spiced.
I do like spiced wine, and I didn't really drink any like Boilo this year at all.
Probably didn't miss much.
It's easy. It has a nice finish.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely an easy drinking thing. Cool.
It's different.
It's like
porter in
most
there
of the
too.
other like lighter Sam Adams stuff don't have that Sam Lager. Sam Lager has like this, almost like this buttery start to it that's similar to Yingling a little bit, but maybe that's because they're both lagers.
Yeah, it's kind of a lager.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're definitely those two are different.
Like a nice holiday beer.
I've got.
I still like it. I'm just putting it aside for now because I know I need to pace myself. Because this thing, I'm taking a picture.
Yeah, send it to Justin.
Yeah. Wait, you're in the picture. Just there we go. All right.
No, it's good beer. It's a really good beer.
Chester says, I want to listen. Sorry, I got all busy doing a family trip in Tijuana. I don't know if that's somewhere in California or who knows where he is. Oh, Tony Airline says, hi, Ben and Adler. So he just listened right in this and is like,
what's going on?
Dude.
Good people. Good people. Good Friday night.
I know, great Friday night. It's like this month is just gonna like go right by because I'm going out to visit Adler at the end of next month, and I can't wait. Because like I was telling him, like I've been just making content every day now. And it's weird because like in the before times, I was taking a week off every month and I would just fuck off.
Mm-hmm.
I would just hang who is around that I can travel to. And I was just putting in my time at Philadelphia International Airport once a month, just like going to the airport. I'm out of here for a weekend.
Yeah.
Just leaving, long weekend, having some fun time. That was when I went back to New Zealand just for fucks.
Mm-hmm.
That was amazing.
You can still do it. It's just
You can. Oh, Americans can't go to New Zealand or Australia at all.
well, I'm sorry, domestic travel.
Yeah, I can.
But,
And I am flying out to Cincinnati. Fuck it.
Yeah.
I'm okay. Speaking of long distance haulers, like we were talking about Lexus LS 430s, and I also am including the 460 into that if I really want to spend some money. I'm seeing Carvana, fucking fuck you, but I'm buying your stock anyway because you're making money. I see them popping up for like $46,000. The 460.
What year?
The 460
They had
is
a long run.
the 460. We're talking like 2014 to 2016.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are they physically? They look physically bigger than the
Yeah.
430s.
They are. I mean,
Okay.
it was kind of the evolution of the LS, but it got a little bit bigger, a little bit. So a lot of people would argue like the 430 is like the purest example of an LS where it was like
Yeah.
a little bit. And then because also the 460, you could get a long wheelbase. You could get one that was like drive me around kind of
Yeah.
car.
Yeah.
But they're like, I love both of them. Like, I think both are solid. I am still partial to like early to mid 2000s Toyota when they were like still like
angry.
yeah, they were like fighting and like we're gonna prove
Fuck
it to you.
you, Mercedes.
Yeah, like we're gonna
Fuck
get there.
you, BMW. I'll give you.
And now they're kind of like, yeah, we're gonna make what we want.
Yeah.
Like they're still great quality.
That's
but
you're so right about that because I have to think about my garage because even with the current car, it takes like a bunch of turns to get in it because it is a longer car. And if a 460 is that long to get it in my garage,
it is bigger. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's not like a foot longer, I'm sure, but it's bigger. And a 432 is like, I don't know. It's weird. Like when the 460 came out, I remember being like, that's the greatest looking car I've ever seen. I just loved it.
The grill.
Yeah.
So I would want a 460
Yeah.
before they made the grill.
Spindle grill. Yeah.
Yeah.
The spindle grill is eating plankton as it goes along.
Yeah,
It's swallowing up
You
smaller
just
fish.
cannot unsee that grill.
Yeah.
I'm sure the
It's-
car is fantastic, but
Well, then they double down too. That's what all these automakers with the giant grill. Like I love this new Tundra,
yeah.
giant ass fucking grill. Like
Yeah.
why you don't have to prove anything to us with the grill size.
Yeah.
It's okay. Make a normal size grill.
Mhm.
BMW, stop it with the kidney grills.
Mhm.
We don't want them to be the size of the car. No
No.
one's asking for that.
No.
Stop doing it. Just stop.
This is like the 2022s are like this new 1970s where just
Mhm.
taste just went through the tubes.
I don't even think taste went through the tubes. I think the automakers are just confused.
Yeah.
I think they all believe we want this. Think about like, do you know anybody that's like gearhead that's like, man, I love the look of those giant grills,
No.
right?
It's just
Everybody's
memes
like,
and
I
memes
hate
and
it.
memes. Yeah.
But then for some reason, the automakers keep making it.
Yeah.
Maybe it's non-car people are the influencers.
There has to be some like guy with like a bunch of Beanie Babies that he's that he like soaked in water, got him like nice and hard outside and shoved them up his ass in the middle of the meeting. Says, you know what we should do? For
Check
a
this
grill in
out.
Lexus.
What do they call it? The spindle grill. But they're doubling like the new LX, the Land Cruiser
Yeah.
equivalent for Lexus, even bigger spindle grill, only bigger. It just keeps going.
Oh, that is so
The grill has to
bad.
be the entire front end of the vehicle now.
Jesse Field says, thoughts on the new GR86. By the way, I love your cultural commentary metaphors that you include in your videos. This is a long shot, but thoughts on the new KTM RC390. Okay, I'll start with the last one. KTM to me is, in terms of Pokemon, the team mystic of motorcycles. It's Ralph Wiggum and like meeting the leprechaun that tell him to burn things. KTM is simultaneously redneck and yuppie. I don't understand that motorcycle company.
Yeah.
They are expensive motorcycles
Mhm.
that hillbillies buy, and and this is coming from, like, I'm judging them by their looks because I've never rode a KTM. So understand that I've never ridden the bike. I mean, they make primarily dual sports and occasionally a Street Fighter sort of looking thing, but I've never actually ridden one. So I'll reserve my judgment until someone hands me a KTM and say, go have a rip.
That's a great Jeff Foxworthy, though. Like, if your side by side
Yeah.
is worth more than your daily driver,
Yeah. Yeah.
you might be a redneck.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
If your Polaris slingshot is worth more than your house.
If your payment on it, because you
Yeah.
don't own it.
No,
outright.
no.
There's no way that you paid cash.
So the GR86. I like that they're all Toyotas now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're done with the FRS, FRS, and BRZ. Although primarily when I think of that range of cars,
BRZ still exists.
oh, it does.
Subaru
Okay,
still
good,
has them.
Good.
Yeah.
Because I think of them. Yes, Toyota had their stink in it. Well, Toyota had their blessing, but it's still a mostly it's a Subaru. So it's a Subaru transmission, Subaru engine.
Right.
Toyota. What did they do exactly? Did they do?
I think they did body, and I think they build them, don't they?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure they build them.
Okay.
I think Subaru supplies the engine.
Okay.
I mean, again, this is one of those cars where I don't know it well, and I won't do justice. And there's 1,000 people right now like, no, that's not true.
Every version of those cars I drove, and Jeff Weissman owns one. They're great.
Yeah.
They're fine. They're a classic front end rear wheel drive sports car. The only strange thing, it has a boxer engine, and if you can get over that,
But they're great.
Subaru knows what they're doing with boxer engines, so whatever.
And their stock form, leave the skinny tires on,
Yes.
and just go crazy through every turn you come to.
Yeah,
That's
enjoy
what they're
it.
for.
Yeah.
That's like, and they're, but they have the classic WRX problem, right? Of like, the people that can afford them don't want them. The people that want them can't afford them.
Yeah.
They're like right on the cusp of that. Like,
I think Jeff Weissman said to the term, if you're a sneakerhead, they're the Jordan 1s
mhm,
of sneakers. You can wear them every day
mhm.
and be perfectly fine. There's people who will use them every day, and then there are people who will like treat them like Corvettes and that they're the
Right.
greatest thing in the world.
Which they're, yeah.
Yeah.
But they're a great daily.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you can drive a rear wheel drive vehicle
Mhm.
in all year round, they're a great daily.
No. So yeah, that's what I thought. But the GR86, so have they introduced a turbocharger yet? Is that the deal with the GR? Because I don't know.
I mean, GR is Gadzooks Racing, which is Toyota's term for like, but I think they're all in that category. I think that's what they just call that car.
Did we get the GR Yaris? That was like a big thing in the.
And it's
before
supposed to be
times.
coming. The last I heard, it was supposed to be coming.
Okay.
It hasn't come yet, but supposedly it's going to. And hopefully it's not, by the way, the Yaris that's actually made by Mazda,
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
which is like
It's the Mazda.
it's such a
2.
strange move. Yeah, yeah, but it's such a strange Toyota move. Think about it.
To fuck with Mazda, like
what-
Ford's butt buddy.
Yeah,
Really?
and not only that, your Toyota. If there's one thing you know, it's
tiny,
compact
yeah.
4-cylinder
Mhm.
cars, for fuck's sake. Like that's what you
Yeah.
do with your life.
Yeah. Oh fuck! I should have given this one a shout out to, like. Oh, and one more thing. I miss your dad. Your dad is super cool. Foster's dad. He's like super fun. We're still podcasting, but yeah, Foster, your dad is super cool, Midwestern dad, and I love shooting the shit with him. And we had that one moment outside where it's like a quick beer break in the middle of Flappy New Year. That was like good vibes. Tell your dad I miss him. Brian says hi. Bye. So it's the Costanza has a good point. Now that I'm older, I drink less and drink not so heavy alcohol. You know, I'm kind of the other way. I drink less, but when like we hang out, I ask for the heavy stuff.
Mhm.
I don't want to drink like, you know, slam like Busch Light all
Yeah.
night.
Yeah,
Give me one really big heavy sledgehammer of a beer and I'll drink it for an hour.
right. You're
Yeah.
gonna sip. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're not gonna just go hard.
Yeah. Busch Light.
I remember, dude, so much Busch Light in college. So much. Buying 30 packs for $12.99 at CVS.
Fuck.
$12.99.
When like when I was in college, like at the later end of college, Lion's Head started to rear its head and it touted itself as like this craft beer, and really it was nothing.
No.
Like you'd run into a party and people were like buying Lion's Head and like, this is a fancy party.
Well, I remember when going and getting a Bud Light was like, hey.
Huh?
You right? Like I remember like that was like a step up from like drinking the Keystone Light and the Busch Light that we drank. Was like you buy like a Bud Light, like you buy like a 24 pack of Bud Light. It was like, all right, this is like drinking
Really?
good now. I remember that. Maybe that was a Midwestern
Maybe
thing, but
maybe it had to been a Midwest.
it was
thing,
more
'cause
expensive than like Busch or Keystone Light.
maybe
Either
that was
way.
it. I had this moment with my friend Justin Romali and Joe Runsman one time because we were up at Justin's house. This is some other Pennsylvania. This is northern Pennsylvania, Tioga County. So, crap. Where's Justin's town? It's not. Gosh, it was in Tioga County. Why can't I remember the town? So it was like this brilliant moment because it was something that I didn't understand and Justin explained to me. Like you'd go into like a Pennsylvania bar and they'd have Yingling on tap and they'd have Yingling in bottles, and they were both for sale. And me growing up thinking, well, why wouldn't you buy it on tap? Because it's cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
And then Justin Romali explained to me, no, these are the guys who are working in the gas well drilling, and they just got paid. And it's a weird sort of flex to buy the bottle because it's like 80 cents more or $1.20 more
Yeah.
for the bottle to show that, hey, you're drinking your beer out of a bottle. You paid for this. Was that a Midwest Indiana thing of going to a beer and asking for going to a bar and asking for a bottle?
No,
Oh.
but we also didn't have like we didn't have the equivalent of like lager, right? Like you go to a Pennsylvania bar and you said like a lager,
You
They-
get a link.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's not a thing in the Midwest. There's not
Okay.
like a beer that's like if you just ask for a light, they're not like, oh, you want Bud Light? They're like, what light? Like
okay.
name a beer. So there's not that, but I mean the other one is that I always think about is like how often are they cleaning these draft lines? Like probably
That was something that Justin said too. Like
Probably
if it's like
with-
some towny bar.
with Yingling, like they probably go through it often enough that it's keeping them clean because you're drinking all the shit that builds up. But
Yeah.
like, I don't like if it's a lower turn beer, like how often do you clean these lines?
Yeah. I mean, I
Pretty
know
gross.
the place that we go. Well, shout out to the Brick House. We're always there. They're rotating their stock all the time.
And they're a nicer place. So usually those places hire somebody to come in and clean their draft lines.
Oh fuck, it's on Facebook, and as on general principle, I don't have Facebook on my phone, but I got to remember to show it on the computer that Joe Matera, the guy who owns a Brick House, found a picture of both of us in our acolyte gowns. He's like, "Do you remember this?" I'm like, "Dude, I remember this." And then like a person I haven't thought of for like maybe 30 years. Is that Nathan Fiddler? And he's like, it is Nathan Fiddler. Like remembering a face that you haven't thought of in 3 decades.
Yeah.
And it's like, because
good
I got
feeling.
kicked off Acolyte because I left one of the candles burning behind the altar. And I also was like fucking around because when you were Acolyte, you didn't sit in the normal congregation. You sat in these other pews. And for us, it was like across. What do they call it? You got the altar right there at the front of the church, and then there's the podium, and whatever that was called, that was like, I guess the stage. For fuck it, we'll call it the stage.
Yeah, there's a
On
name
one side,
for
there
it.
was the chorus that would sing,
Right,
and on
right.
the other side, at
Where the bell choir sometimes was.
Did
no.
you have a bell choir every Sunday?
No,
we
occasionally.
only had it at Christmas time.
Yeah. Like Christmas, like Easter, I think they did it. Like there was like,
Oh, you got a bell choir at Easter?
yeah, we was a big church. We had
Mm.
like 700 members, like
Oh,
300
that's pretty
active
good, yeah.
attendance. Yeah.
So on the other side, there was like some other pews up on the stage, I guess, but they just kind of were sideways. And there was the organist that sat on the
Mhm.
other side, and then
Mhm.
like a bunch of like auxiliary pews, and that's where the acolyte stood. But
Okay.
I'm like there, because my parents were disappointed in me because there's even less to do as an acolyte because I just sit there with like my acolyte stick that I'm not even allowed to light. I think the organist or someone else had to get the barbecue lighter and light the acolyte wick.
But what are you doing to these kids?
I'm fucking 8.
Come on, man.
And I'm just up there like rolling my head around.
Is this
just
what I
like-
want with my life? Really? At this age? Like,
Being an acolyte and wearing this painter's smock.
yeah. And I got to extinguish this thing with like, you remember the thing you had to extinguish the candle with?
Yeah, it was like
It
an
was
it's like a
worthless.
bell. It was just like
It was
right on
just
top of the
worthless. Like the only real way to do that is to extinguish the air, and that does not do that at all.
No.
So I'm just rubbing that thing around, right? And everybody else, like all the old people, are probably like, "Oh, that's so nice," and I'm like, "Oh, I don't want to fuck this up." Like you're so worried because you're 10 and you're just like, but yeah, like having like they didn't make us sit on the stage, whatever it's
Yeah.
called. They didn't make us sit there.
yeah.
Like we would just be able to go back and like sit with our parents and like go back at a certain time to get
Yeah.
ready to go back up. But like I also remember like they tried to explain to me the reason you did that, and I was like, this still seems dumb.
Mhm.
Like it was like what is like Christ's spirits coming into the church and then it's going back out, or
And I'm like thinking, but you already have the one candle that I legitimately believed when I was single digits that candle wouldn't go out.
yeah, it was always burning.
Like, well, I guess that thing always do it. And later I found out it was just a battery operated candle. In
But I
there.
remember saying to my dad, I remember like because not somebody, whoever it was, who explained to me like, oh, this is like Christ's spirit or whatever. I remember like, so what's the point of the church then? Like, isn't he kind of like you built this whole thing around this dude?
Yeah.
Like, isn't he kind of always here?
Yeah.
He doesn't acknowledge you unless you have a candle burning. Is that what it is? Like
Yeah,
he's like
what's up with
he's
the-
like
the pyro-
fuck you guys. There's no candle up there. Fucking I'm not coming. Like that's what he does. Like
Yeah,
that
yeah,
seems
yeah.
pretty shitty for a whole savior.
Bobcat, thank you for the generous donation. Says, yeah, he finally caught one live. Here's more beer. It's Rush. Do 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 do. I like Subdivisions, and there's like this other song I heard in the giveaway car because the giveaway car does have Sirius XM in 2005
For
it's got
free?
That it's still running.
Somebody else is paying
I'm
for it.
listening to Lithium.
Somebody's paying for that, or they signed up for the lifetime membership and forgot
I
to
guess,
transfer it off
dude.
the
I
car.
hit the. I know it's a GM product, but I hit the OnStar just to see what would happen, and it goes to no one. It's just like the trial membership, and then, like this thing plays through the speakers. I got to sample that for something.
You should
Yeah.
record that.
Yeah,
I can't stand though. Like I remember satellite radio. I had a Nissan Xterra. I bought it brand new,
Yeah.
2013.
yeah.
And they give you like the free whatever it is, 6 months of Sirius or whatever.
Mhm.
And I just have no interest in satellite radio. Like I want to listen to the song that I want when I
Mhm.
want it. That's the song I want to listen to. So I use Spotify. And they called me, and it had like all of these dead spots too, because the antenna was, the Xterra has that roof rack kind of,
Yeah.
on the front of it has like a thing to like put your beach towel in or whatever it's for.
Yeah.
The shark fin is under that.
Okay.
So it had all these like dead spots, like driving by the country club, it would just, it was gone.
yeah.
So I trialed it for the 6 months or whatever. And then it was like being in debt to the mob. Sirius called me like probably every 3 weeks for like 2 years to be like, you interested in signing up for Sirius? And finally I was like, I don't know how else to say. There is no circumstance at this point in my life, no matter what happens to me, if both of my legs are amputated and I'm stuck in a wheelchair, and for some reason I also can't work anymore, I will still not sign up for Sirius, even if I'm bedridden.
Yeah.
I'm not signing up. And they're like, okay, well, we'll be back in touch this evening. And like, I finally blocked every number. Every
Yeah.
time it was an unknown number, I would just block Sirius.
And did eventually it not work in the Xterra?
Yeah, no, they finally gave up and turned it off. Yeah. Which like, I mean, they should have, but like it was, I've just never had any company pursue me that aggressively.
Wow.
Like I swore to them. I'm like, there's no scenario where I'm signing up for satellite radio. I don't think I can explain to you how little I want this shit. Okay, well, we'll be in touch. No, please don't ever call me again. Okay. And they call again in 3 weeks. They must get commissioned.
They have to. And it was like a US call center.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that was what was surprising too. Is anybody still with us now? This hour?
Yeah. We got another super chat here. I got to film tomorrow. Fuck it. No, I got to do it. At least we don't have an early start. It's like, depending on how early I get up, is if I go check out the local, because you said it sprays the underneath.
It
But
does.
I'd have to clean both cars and get there by noon. It's only like 10 p.m. though, right now. Yeah,
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 you
it's
got
not-
time.
it's not late. Not that I want to clean it tonight, but
No, I don't know. I mean, how much does that underbody wash do? Like,
I don't know.
I mean, it's doing something. I always pay for it.
It
Like,
was
if they give me
something-
an
yeah.
option, but I mean, it's just probably what, spraying water down there.
I guess I was talking to Justin about, and because he asked about you, and did we both contact like his Toyota guy? Because like our guy, like one of my mechanic friends, just shout out Katasaku Auto Repair. He knows a guy who's like a Toyota freak, who like just does like in-house clients and does like that undercoating and stuff for Toyotas, and he knows all about
I should
Toyotas.
bring Rusty there.
And I haven't done it yet because I'm working all the time and I need my 4Runner, and now I have salt on the bottom of the 4Runner. And what Justin said is like, it's all like half bro science, but one of the things Justin said is if you keep up with spraying the underbody of the car and getting that salt off, as long as it doesn't sit on there, it's almost the same as doing nothing. Or it's almost the same as doing fluid film once a year.
That, I mean, I do believe in fluid film. I would apply that once a year, but they say then when you do that, don't do the undercarriage wash.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
because it I mean, it's
going to wash off. That
yeah, I mean, it's
stuff,
lanolin based, so it'll just if you keep spraying it, it'll just wash off. So they say like
Mm,
only do it right before the next time you apply fluid film.
okay. And it's all predicated on having a guy with a 2-post lift. So you can
Or-
really, or
You trade every few years and just don't care. I know you diehard opposed to debt are not.
dude,
gonna
I
go
am
for
driving
but
that 3rd gen 4Runner for the next 10 years.
I hope you do, because I love to see people preserve cars like that. I just don't have the patience. That's why I buy Land Cruisers that already have 200,000 miles on them. I'm just like, you already done the work for me.
Yeah. Jack Kazmarek says, looking to buy an old CB900F, and I believe that's the carbureted one, but concerned the handling will disappoint as I'm used to modern sport bikes. What are your thoughts? Yes, that is a traditional. I don't believe the original CB900F is a twin spar frame. I believe it's a single tubular frame. It will not feel solid, but exactly, you put it. It is the height of the UJM because they made that deep into the 90s. If you think of the Honda CB900F as a muscle bike, you won't be disappointed. That is a fantastic engine. It is the closest thing in car terms that is a Lexus SC300. Right? It is it's cheap speed that's made really well. Anybody who buys the Honda CB900s of any form, my beanie is tapped to you. That is a good buy. Thank you, Jack. I think that's it. Better than late night. Thank you, Image. Rocky LaRouge still hanging out with us. Thanks. I'm going to buy my baby 3 so much. Rocky LaRouge says, is the Honda CB900F the 4-cylinder? Yes, it is. Do I have Rocky still on my Telegram? Is he on? Rocky, are you on my Telegram? If not, oh, do we want to go 3? I don't know, man.
This light, easy.
See, I still have this much left, and I'm already thinking about tomorrow. This is me being responsible, kindly, whatever you want, take it. Whatever the other one is, put it back in the bathroom. All right, I'm going to put this back in the
The
bathroom.
bathroom / refrigerator.
Yeah.
Whoever built Brian's house or added onto it or whatever they did, the half bath that's off the kitchen, whoever this person was, they hate the idea of insulation. I don't know what it is, but when they heard the word insulation, they were like, no, I'm not doing that. And I was talking about the person who built your half bath who hates insulation.
What is up with that bathroom? There's no insulation.
They're just the whole idea of it. They're like, I don't like insulation. I don't know why. It must be on a crawl space. But
Yeah.
I can't figure out how though. Nobody has ever gone through to like just buy some fiberglass and put it in there. They're just like haven't done anything.
No.
It's very strange.
That bathroom is great in the summertime. It's nice and breezy and cool.
Mhm.
I do most of my pooping in that bathroom in the summertime.
Winter.
I can look at my neighbor while I take a shit.
Yeah.
I can watch him mow the lawn while
Do
I
they know
poop.
it's a bathroom?
I don't think you can see because it's like at eye level with the railing. So,
Yeah.
you know, of the porch. So it's not a big deal. But also, whoever.
Party foul.
Also, whoever put in that bathroom, that toilet is like really low, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it is. Well, it's not. What do they call that? That's like the standard height or whatever. Because there's also chair height. Like I've upgraded all mine to chair height, which is like a little bit taller.
Yeah.
But like that is like exponentially low.
Yeah.
I don't know how they
And
did
also,
that.
the sink is low.
Mhm.
It's almost like
Were they short and they hit insulation?
someone in a wheelchair. But this
Hmm.
house is not built for a wheelchair because every single room you go into,
No.
there's a height difference.
You couldn't get into the kitchen with
No.
a wheelchair
It's like a 3-inch difference between the living room and the kitchen.
unless they had some sort of a ramp on your patio.
But there isn't
Mm-mm.
in any direction. There's steps everywhere on this property.
Yeah,
Hey.
and really rough sidewalks too, like old sidewalks.
Yeah.
that you would not.
Everything's weird. I don't even shovel to walk to my garage anymore.
Yeah,
It's like, fuck it.
nah, it's not worth it. I
If
don't-
my neighbor doesn't let me borrow a snowblower, I'm like, I don't have time for this. I'll just skate my way to the garage.
I own a snowblower, and I still like on like sections of it when it's like a light snow. I'm like, just see if it melts.
Yeah.
It's just to wait it out.
Family home built for children. You couldn't get in trouble with that ADA access, man. I guess.
You're not the owner. You don't have to
No.
give a shit.
I don't own this house. Greg does. Greg's in San Diego right now,
Fine.
just hanging out. It's that he's got so much seniority. He can just him and his family. He can just get on a plane. Not have to
Oh,
pay.
they just do the
They
deadhead or
just-
whatever.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Damn.
So I guess they got friends in San Diego. Shout out to Eric Pedersen. He lives in San Diego. So does Doug DeMuro, lives in San Diego.
That's right.
Yeah.
Daddy Doug.
But they're just there hanging out. One of the greatest meals I ever had in my life was in San Diego. It was just
Lasagna?
Korean barbecue.
Oh.
And it was this like this guy met me at my hotel. He showed up in the Saab Turbo. That's a Chevy Cobalt. And
Yeah.
he said, I'm going to take you to a Korean place. Like, let me show you, like, my people know how to make some late night munchies.
Mhm.
Because I got into I was in San Diego. It was after the Mammoth trip, honestly. And I'm like, I'm only in San Diego for one night. And it's a late night. And I have a flight the next day. I want some late night munchies. And he's like, dude, I'm going to take you to this hole in the wall Korean place. And we're going to drink like cheap Korean beer. And it's going to be amazing. And I said, I'm in. And it was.
Yeah.
You know, we're sitting at a bar. Your food comes one piece at a time, like little barbecue sort of skewers. I'm drinking like some version of Sbarro, like a nice light
Yeah.
crisp beer, and I'm just eating meat, like a little bit of vegetables. We kept that thing up for like an hour and 20 minutes. I'm like, this is great.
Yeah.
He drives me back to the hotel. I open up my computer. I beat off and I go to bed. And that was fantastic.
It's a great night.
Yeah.
Just a great. But this is what I don't understand. Like, and
No.
no offense to him, but like, why are people still going to Chili's
Right?
when I can go to this like local? Like, what did
Yeah.
you pay? Like, and maybe you didn't pay, but if
$40
you had-
bucks.
right? Like,
40.
if I have
for
that
a great
option
night. Yeah, I
for
think I paid
a
40
place
bucks.
where the locals are like, I'm going to show you what good food is,
Yeah.
and you go there.
Yeah.
Why would I instead choose Texas Roadhouse?
Right.
Under what scenario? I'm like, oh, I'd rather have.
I'd rather have food that was warmed up in a bag.
And no offense to them, like I'm sure they're nice people. They're doing the best they can. But like, why am I going to this chain? Why am I
wanna-
buying Papa John's?
Shout out to Will Down, said yes. Cheers to Meatloaf. One of the greatest like mid-range,
Mhm.
great singer.
Yep.
And one of the first albums I ever bought on CD, Bad Out of Hell.
Yep.
And I still have it in my book of CDs. Yeah, great album.
I remember discovering Meatloaf and being like, ooh,
Ooh.
like this
Yeah.
this is good.
Matt Lazo says, Brian, one of these days you got to review a Lumina Dustbuster van. Yeah, the Chevy Lumina
Yeah.
van.
Those were awesome.
I don't know if freaking who was it? Oh shit! In marching band, Katie Katie Danya? Did their family have a Lumina van?
Well, there was a
19
Pontiac version too.
Yeah.
What were they called?
Fuck.
Trans something?
Transport.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it was a great play on words.
Yes.
Oh God,
Fuck
GM
off.
back in the day.
Yes. Yeah.
'Cause that
Everybody
was
in the chat
actually-
is saying transport. Yeah.
Everybody, that was like you want to talk about Ford doing that with the Mustang, with
Yeah.
the Mach-E.
Yeah.
GM on a much lower, much like one on the scale of 100
Yeah.
scale did the same thing though with the Lumina, but they were like, we already have a car named the Lumina. What if we just do the same thing, but it's also a van?
What are we gonna call it?
How about also the Lumina? Can we just call it?
Yeah. Let's Let's go
See what
with it.
happens.
Yeah.
See
Yeah.
if people buy that.
Yeah.
Those were bizarre, but
God
that was
damn it.
also
The idea that those are coming back. You know, I was just talking to my brother today. Shout out to my brother Tim. If you're into EDM music, my brother Tim produced the album called Hell Orbs. He collaborated with Drew, often collaborates with Drew Fairweather from Toothpaste for Dinner. Tim has released numerous albums under the title Mr. Sequencer, and was also a DJ at MagFest. So yes, like the family is creators. And although Tim and I have rarely collaborated with our own projects, you know, I have another content creator, my brother. So if anybody is into EDM music and was at MagFest this year, you probably have ran into my brother, and he was one of the DJs there.
nuts.
So Tim was just talking about like old weird stuff from like the late 90s, 2000s. Of course, 90s stuff are obviously back in fashion.
Yes.
But the interesting thing is where things are going from like mid 2000s that are coming back. And he was talking about how, do you remember the PlayStation PSP, that handheld?
Yeah.
That you can hack them and they run off of a memory card now. And he has one that has the entire Namco library on it.
Really?
As well as like playing Nintendo games on a PlayStation PSP.
That could be fun.
He told me if I ever wanted something for like flights, he says, just buy like the final generation PSP and I'll just hack it for you and just put all the stuff on it.
I remember that do you remember that when the iPhone could run GTA 3?
No, what?
Like I remember like playing GTA 3 on the PlayStation 2 and being like, holy shit, this game is so advanced.
Yeah.
Right. And that was like what, early 2000s?
Gran Turismo 3.
Yeah.
Or Gran Turismo. Or,
Grand Theft Auto 3.
Fuck. I remember seeing that for the first time on PlayStation 2.
It was like, it had to be like at the
I was still
earliest
living
late
in the
90s.
dorms. So that would be at the very latest 2003.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like early 2000s. And I remember being like, how cool is this game? And then I remember in like 2011, all of a sudden they were like, here's the exact same render of GTA 3, but you can play it on your iPhone. And I was like, yeah, like it was fantastic.
Rocky LaRue says, if furry conventions still exist, MagFest will still be here. Yeah. He showed me this like this MagFest is music something. It's like an EDM concert that lasts all weekend plus video games. So I wasn't really, because I'm not into EDM music, honestly. Like I like the Crystal Method and Fatboy Slim.
Yeah.
So I listened to
What
that
was
on
the
the
Christopher Walken video?
Weapon of Choice.
Yes.
So that's kind of where it ends for me. So when I hear modern EDM music, my eyeballs hurt because it's just like this is half noise music and I don't get it. But then
think you have
Tim
to be
told
on
me that
ecstasy.
half of MagFest is just like video games. And there's like a whole section devoted to pinball machines and like classic. People just come in, like guys come in with like pallet jacks, hauling arcade cabinets from like the 80s and 90s, and you can just play them and they're on free play.
Can I
And I'm
play like Rush 2? Because that's what I want to play.
San Francisco Rush.
Yes.
Yes. I'm
That's
sure
what I
they
wanna
have
play.
San Francisco Rush, and it's outside of Baltimore at this like outer harbor. It's kind of like at this resort. It's one of those resorts, hotels where you walk into the building and then it's kind of like a town center
Mm-hmm.
inside a building, and then the hotels are there in a building within the building, and it's one of those things.
Mm-hmm.
It's very fitting of these times, trademark, where everybody's inside and is vaccinated and wearing masks, so you're outside but you're also inside.
Yeah.
But it's neat
Yeah.
that those things already existed, because it's like Oaks where that Wegmans is down on 22.
Which one?
You head down like you're going to King of Prussia, and you pass Phoenixville.
Mm-hmm.
It's like something Oaks.
Collegeville.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That same kind of concept.
Yeah. But now you put Biodome around the entire thing. And
Yeah. There's an outlet mall there too.
Quesadilla Man says, what is your favorite Pink Floyd album?
I thought for a minute you were leaving me to answer that, and the answer was I don't know anything but Dark Side of the Moon.
Well, some people like the Yankees, and other people recognize that if you want to play the game, you have to know how the game is played. And did I really put it somewhere else?
There's an ass for every seat, Brian.
Yeah. Look. I mean, like, are we going to beat around the bush here, really? Because that bit in the middle of, another brick in the wall where you have that mean teacher yelling just takes me out of the album. But if you're talking about a piece of artwork that has no fat on it, where every track and every second of the track is meaningful, liking Dark Side of the Moon, and I said it in the original, and this is the same album that appeared in the regular in the Miata video. This is the same thing.
This is the Miata.
Yeah,
There's a reason it's popular. I was
Yeah.
just gonna say there's a reason everybody says you should buy Miata.
Everybody says you should listen to Dark Side.
There's a reason. It's because it's very good.
Yeah. It's like, oh, what kind of drugs were you on when you were making this? These guys were stone cold sober when they made Dark Side.
Mm-hmm.
I will listen to Dark Side. Like, if I had to pick an album to listen to on my deathbed, you could go a lot worse than Dark Side of the Moon, especially the final track. I mean, it's an ode to the human experience. And where am I in my life right now on Dark Side? Well, obviously I'm on Money. I'm on the track Money because these car giveaways are doing very well. And I realize that I put the album sleeve in the wrong way because it's not supposed to go in that way. You're supposed to pull the album sleeve out and do it up sideways.
I'm not going to report you.
I know. But
yeah, no, it's an amazing. I would argue Deathbed, Radiohead.
Great. Yeah. What is that? Kid A?
Kid A.
Yeah.
There's a few though, but like motion picture soundtrack. There's a few songs, like a few Radiohead songs that are like, I just want this played at my deathbed, or the Les Mis finale.
Les Mis.
If you just
were you in chorus in high school?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. No, if you played like the Les Mis finale at my deathbed, I'd be very happy.
I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just pull the plug.
If I want to be reincarnated, if that's real, I want to come back to Crosby, Stills, and Nash.
Yes.
Daylight Again.
Yes. That's a great album cover too, for the record.
Look at this. Come on, son. All right. First of all, we have a neon lettering graphics at the top. We have a different typeface saying Daylight Again. And as for our album color, we have a mountain scene. We have some sort of neoclassical structure. with
From
neon
Neptune, I think.
UFOs,
Mhm.
flying saucers underneath this. And half of it is about the song is about how much you like your friends.
And just look at the gentleman on the back.
Okay. Yes.
Come on.
You got Crosby up there.
Come on.
Wait, who is like he donated sperm, right? And who is it like Melissa Etheridge or someone who is the biological
What?
but like
I did
offspring
not
of
know this.
all right.
That's
We have
fantastic.
to find this
So
out.
this is
like music nerd.
What I
stuff.
love about this is
take it.
the nature versus nurture element of that. Because if you're telling me Melissa Etheridge, if she came, that's fantastic. And first off, we're not doing justice to this at all, are we? Because he has a cat on his shoulder.
On the
He
back.
has a small cat on his shoulder in the picture. And it's just fantastic.
No, it is not Melissa Etheridge.
Oh, I can't even say her name.
Fuck.
So what do I know?
Oh wait, excuse me. Partners, parents.
If you're reincarnated, I just so like, what is that scenario though?
Yeah, he donated sperm, and there was. And I haven't looked at the chat now, but people probably know her. God damn! Look at him. Look at
He looks
Crosby.
fantastic.
He fucking has a cat on him.
It's fantastic.
God damn! Like I'm sad that I was born in 1981 and
But,
never
like,
fully.
I'm just
existed.
saying,
So, look at that freaking
if-
awful mustache. That's like
Hypothetically,
every like dipshit. Like, why are you
No.
at the furry
No
convention
dipshit.
looking like that?
if that was your profile picture on Facebook,
You're going to jail.
you're going to jail, or potentially you're just slaying so much. Like you're just absolutely taking everything home that walks, because they're just like,
That mustache is the worst.
who is this man that has so much self-confidence
Yeah.
that he has this incredibly ungroomed mustache? He's balding and yet his hair is long and curly.
Yeah.
And there's a cat
On his-
perched on his shoulder, also looking at the camera, which is not easy to get a cat to do.
No.
It's not easy. I gotta show should we show the camera? I don't. You
Yeah,
tell me.
the camera's up there.
I know.
Go
But
ahead.
when I get it focused,
I'll tell you.
Because I just feel like we're not doing justice to.
Look at that. Look at David Crosby right there. Down a little bit. Down a little more. Brilliant. Look at David Crosby, man.
Damn it.
And that album was like 79 or 82.
It was 82.
Fuck yes.
But I'm just saying, you would just be cleaning up. You went out on the town and you had that. You just be cleaning up.
All right, so there it is. But in January of the year 2000, Melissa Etheridge announced that David Crosby was the sperm donor of 2 children with their partner Julia Cypher by means of artificial insemination. So yes, the seed that came out of that man
Intentionally,
but had nothing to do with Melissa Etheridge.
intentionally impregnated her partner.
Okay. On May 30, 2020, Etheridge announced on her Twitter that her and Cypher's son Beckett had died of causes related to opiate addiction at the age of 21.
Ooh,
Oh,
party
that's
foul.
sad. Wop, wop. Crosby's brother Ian, who taught him to play guitar, started his musical career with him, committed suicide in 1997 or early 98. Is unknown because, fuck.
Bummer.
Damn. David Crosby Cannabis Ban. What is this? Crosby, in participation
He's
with longtime friend
really
and
into
entrepreneur
cannabis?
Steven Sponder, developed a craft cannabis brand called Mighty Cross.
Oh, he's just phoning it in to make money.
I don't know. It's like,
That's a shame.
well, I mean, make your
mean,
money, man.
yeah,
That was
do
in
what you gotta do.
2018
Do what
when
you gotta
everything
do.
was getting legal. So whatever. Following up a transformative sailing experience when he
But
was
it's like
11.
this. It's like so. To me, it's so on point with the celebrities that are like, "Hey guys, I came on a talk show. Let me talk about my vodka." And it's like,
Yeah.
dude, really? I don't associate with you with vodka
I
at
bought
all.
the Ghostbusters vodka, and there's a can of Crystal Head vodka in my safe
Yeah.
downstairs. So I mean,
If it's good,
it was an alright vodka. Like,
but
I
when
mean,
Mark
honestly, I
Wahlberg starts
listen-
hawking some shit, when it's like, "Hey, I'm Mark Wahlberg. Buy my whiskey." No,
Mm.
I'm not going to buy your whiskey.
I bought the Dan Aykroyd thing, because like, okay, I posted, I don't know if I posted this on Twitter, but whatever. Like I'm going to be doing Rust Belt Rambler, and there was a guy out in like West Union, Ohio, which is like an hour and a half east of Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a Bluesmobile, and that was going to be, I was going to like, fuck it. I'm not sponsoring any other cars for Lemons Rally. I'm just going to buy a Bluesmobile, and I'm going to do the Lemons Rally in a Bluesmobile. Fuck yes. Now, what was interesting about his Bluesmobile is his wasn't a 74 Dodge Monaco. It was a 77. But 77 Dodge Monacos did appear in the Blues Brothers movie as some of the cop cars that were in it.
Mm-hmm.
So it is correct. And his was done up as a current Mount Prospect. So it had a Mount Prospect logo and everything. But it was like, this is one of the vehicles that would exist after the 77 Monaco.
Okay.
So I said if it was still available on, this is my wording to the guy on Facebook Marketplace, if it was still available on Groundhog Day, I'd give him a deposit and I'd come out and get it. But I also told him if there's like a Blues Brothers super fan who really wants this thing, don't hold it for me, because I'll tell you right now, all I'm going to do with your Bluesmobile, because it was very nice, is I'm going to be ripping burnouts with it, and I'm going to put a lot of rock chips in it.
Yeah.
So if someone else wants to preserve it, by all means, send it to him. And someone else obviously drove down from
really?
Chicago. Yeah, it's already gone already. So I need to find another car.
Chicago, though, it'll be rotted out in a week.
I don't know, man. I have to respect how big that movie means to the city of Chicago.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even like Ed Bolian from Vin Wiki. He did a Bluesmobile, although he did the Chevy version of the cop car, the something fuck. It's a Caprice, right?
Caprice Classic.
Yeah, but there's like a special moniker of the police package in the same way as the Panther body had the P71. There was like a something for the.
For a while, Chevy just called them Police Interceptor.
Yeah.
They just had like a genericized. I thought.
No, it wasn't
was
the PPV. The PPV was the Holden Commodore Chevy SS. That was also fantastic because it's an LS engine. Yes, 9C1. That was the classic Chevy Caprice.
Okay.
And there was a guy parking down Boyers in one of the houses down Boyers who had the civilian version, which was the Caprice SS package that had the LT1 engine in it. Yeah, correct. Everybody says the 9C1. Yeah.
This is not a group that you want to fuck
like
with.
This is the only guy. Nash is the only guy who still looks the same because he didn't
creepy mustache. If you want to talk about a creepy mustache,
he's got a tiny. He's the only Brit in the thing, so he kept up with his health. And like I saw like a video of Crosby, Stills, and Nash doing like do 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 do. Do, 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 do. What's that song where they sing in Spanish? Do 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 do.
Somebody's gonna say it now. This is where Google would come into play. Google can just like tell you.
Sweet Judy Blue Eyes. Yeah, there it is. Doing Sweet Judy Blue Eyes, and David Crosby is like so. Like he's not really all that fat, but he's like old man fat where his joints don't work and he can't dance anymore. And it's like, and he can sing, but he sings in kind of like he can't like he can't do that. He's just kind of like has to force the air out, and it's like, and these guys are still going on tour because that's all they know how to do. And I wonder if like that's going to be me in like at like 20 years from now. Will I be like a Jeremy, like, well, God willing, I'd be like a Jeremy Clarkson guy, like still doing car reviews and stuff like that.
I think you stayed true to your brand, so I think so.
Maybe I can be like a Sid Vicious guy who never grew up. I sent this, like, I was trying to flirt with who the other day. Like, for the sake of the stream, I won't tell you who it is, but I'll just send you. I'll just read you my texts. Hold on. And I'll read them like really sensually into the mic.
This is like mean tweets. Is this the equivalent?
Well, I don't know if it's mean.
I'll be back.
Where is it? Come on, you have to listen to me like trying to flirt with another guy. Come on, you can't pee yet.
I'm not offended by it, but I'll be back. You want another beer?
I want to wake up next to your sleeping body and sink back down under the covers next to you. The air in the room is cold, but the bed is warm and cozy. I close my eyes, pull the covers over both of our heads, and feel at peace. I burp into my own closed mouth. A moment passes before I blow the smell of ground pork and sriracha sauce in your face. Outside, slow snow flurries fall. Fucking send it to this guy.
What was his response? Pray tell.
Yeah. You just called me a doofus, so I think that was good.
I think that's good. Too much worse than
Well, he goes to the bathroom. I know I said something else to him. Fuck. I want to wrap my arms around you, look you in the eyes for a wordless eternity. God damn it, I fucked that joke up. I want to wrap my arms around you, look you in the eyes for a wordless eternity, and then fart. Boxed Fossil, thank you for your generous donation, says, what do you think about King Gizzard the Lizard Wizard? I have no idea what that is. Thank you for your generous donation. I'm going to copy that here. King Gizzard the Lizard Wizard, Australian band, formed in 2010. I don't know any of their songs. King Gizzard the Lizard Wizard. Sorry, dude. I'd love to know. I'm all about Australian rock. How can future Brian remember to look up King Gizzard the Lizard Wizard while he works out at the gym? It sounds like already it sounds like good workout music. Fuck, I have to film something from YouTube before I'm done tonight. All right. It's not yet 11 p.m. We got to wrap this up in like 10 minutes because I actually have to do work yet tonight. I have to film one thing so I can finish the video for Monday. So I can have that done because I got to film tomorrow. God, I can't wait to just do nothing for a week in Cincinnati. It's going to freaking rule. Boxed Fossil says Pond is a great Aussie band too, with the same members as Tame Impala. Beza says, would you ever review a Chinese car like a Link and Company? Yeah, I totally want to get my hands on a Chinese vehicle. They don't exist in the United States, and no one's gonna. I don't know how they're
for the little tiny Buick SUV.
What one's that?
I forget what it's called. The smallest of the Buick crossover SUVs. It's actually made in China and imported to the United States.
It's not the Chevy Trax and the Buick equivalent.
It's about that size, but it's the Chevy Trax. I don't think it's made in China.
Okay. But
the Buick version, because Buick is very popular in China,
yeah,
that's where it's made and gets imported to the U.S.
Huh.
I believe it's imported anyway. Somebody will tell me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, right. The Envision is also Chinese.
That's the one.
That's it?
Yeah. Little tiny shit box. Just.
And they're selling it at Buick dealerships?
Yeah. It's like the one that you like. My grandmother still wanted something larger than a car. Like it's that size.
Yeah.
Like you could like there's no function to it. But it's like
it's a car, but it doesn't work.
Yeah. It's just tall. shit. That's what it is.
God, what did Tony and I drive to EAA this past year? We got in some Nissan, I don't know what.
Kicks. You told me about this.
Yes!
The Kicks.
God, that sucked.
It's a terrible name too.
The thing is,
What's
I drove.
the point?
How did I get drunk? How did I get drunk at the air show? I got drunk and I drove back to our Okay, like the thing about like EAA at Oshkosh is that town freaking explodes for the air show, and people are like Airbnb house for like, I don't know, something dumb like $380 a night at like some shithole. And we had like a crash house, which is like a thing in the airport, in the airline world, where like there will be like people in the scene. Everybody has like a house. Like there will be someone near an airport that has a house for pilots. Like it's like a crack house, but not crack, but there's no crack, just booze.
Yeah.
And imagine a house like this. Okay. Now imagine every single room has at least 1 or 2 bunk bed stacks in it.
Yeah.
And you like get into like some like Facebook group or whatever, and you like pay a couple bucks a month, and it's cheaper than a hotel. You roll into this house. There's like a mini fridge. You shower. You have a couple beers. You look at your phone, and you hop in a bunk bed and you fall asleep. And that's the way you kind of like maximize the profits as a pilot or a crew member.
And so there's a bunch of other people also staying here.
The whole house isn't going to be full,
Mhm.
but there's just going to be a revolving door of people coming in and out of this sort of like frat house.
It's like a pilot hostel.
Yeah.
Weird.
And there's those things at Oshkosh. So I'm like sleeping on an air mattress. Tony is sleeping on a couch. And there's like another room with like one of the guys from PR. Because thankfully, like we had, like I'm sleeping on an air mattress and I had it good for that air show.
Oof. Still sounds rough.
It's rough to just go look at airplanes. But I imagine going to that air show for me is like non-car people talking about cars. Like all these fucking planes look the same. I don't know what we're talking about.
Right.
Does anybody have any beer? I don't know. I just need a drink.
Right.
And it's like that. Or does somebody have any weed? Of course, you know, it's all like super right. Like that's the thing about the aeronautical world. And it's kind of like about the car world as well, but maybe that's more like winged dinga stuff. It tends to be right wing. So you can't really get weed if you ask for it.
Yeah, no.
But and all the food was all overpriced. I think like me and everybody just went out for like Mexican food or something like that. And I had a fun time. I actually had this really good like clay coffee mug that I almost wanted to buy from the diner because it was like an amazing coffee mug that like kept everything warm. It was just like someone like made it in like pottery class.
Was it like
that.
rounded like this?
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are always the best. What's the deal with that?
Yeah.
Something about that shape.
Yeah.
And they're always like a off-white with a blue on the top and a blue on the bottom.
Yeah.
Maybe that's one brand and I just don't know what it is.
I don't know. Rocky LaRue says Midwest Fur Fest has so much weed. Dude, I have this one story. Okay, since I talked to them, like I was hanging out with Adler and he got super high one night at Midwest, and I'm like just telling him like, look, like nothing's happening, just go sit on the couch or whatever. And so he just sat down and later I ran into one of my other friends at Midwest. And I'm like, yeah, I was talking Adler down because he like smoked a bunch of weed and got really high for a while. And like, I'm talking to this guy and he's still in his fursuit. And he says, the fucking lightweight, I'm on 2 brownies right now. And he's like, I've been rolling on brownies for the past 4 hours. What the fuck is wrong with him? So, I mean, it's great. Like
Going hard.
I mean, yeah, I mean, freaking Midwest is like Caligula's asshole sometimes. Of course, the last time I was there was in the before times. I don't know what it's like now. Like I was at one FurCon recently, and it was kind of like the way Schuylkill County was in 2020, where like they were pretty strict about the masks and stuff like that. Now, I'm not making a political statement, but you know, like we live out in the country, so it's sort of like, whatever.
I don't even know in 2020. I don't even know if anybody gave that much of a shit.
Well,
like I remember getting my oil changed at a place I won't name if I'm going to disparage them, and I was literally the only person in there. This was like, I'm talking like April or May 2020. and things are blowing up, and I was the
Yeah.
only one wearing a mask.
Okay. I remember the grocery store was slow to adopt, but then
Yes.
everybody was wearing them.
Well, then it was a PA thing, right? It was like a
when we had the
ordinance
counties
or whatever. Yeah,
in
like
different colors.
everybody
yeah.
had to do it.
Yeah.
But then, like after that, everybody's like, "Yeah, we're not doing that anymore." And I was like, "Well, there's still kind of a okay."
Yeah. It's the way I look at it right now is I just judge the vibe of the room,
Mhm.
and wherever the wind's blowing, whatever, I'll go in that direction.
I have like my thing with the whole mask is like if I'm just passing through, man, like if I'm at the grocery store and I'm just walking by somebody in an aisle, everything that we've seen says it's over 15 minutes within 6 feet, right?
Yeah.
Like that's the clear transmission path.
Mhm.
So like, is it that big a deal if I'm just walking around the grocery store with that one? I'm not saying it's a good idea right now when
Yeah.
like Omicron's blowing up like crazy,
Yeah.
but whatever.
Yeah. And I'm not a good person to comment on it because I recognize that my genes are very good because I'm the offspring of 2 athletes.
Mm.
Like both my parents were phys ed majors. My dad was a running back. My mom was a gymnast and a phys ed major. And I can go to the gym and in 1 week burn off like 5 pounds of, and that's unfair because that's the way my genes are programmed.
Mhm.
I burn off fat really easily and I can build muscle. Actually, not that well, honestly. If I'm being honest, I can't build muscle that well. But I haven't been sick in like 15 years. And I may have gotten it at Flat Me New Year's because like half the people who went to this one thing that I did the documentary for, like half the people pop positive, and I'm I got like tired a little bit, but I took like some store brand NyQuil and I was like, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the thing about it because it's so unfair to so
Mhm.
many people. Some people get rocked, and other people like fucking Wolverine just like power through it. And I'm like, all right, whatever.
I mean, the ones I don't understand are like if you're morbidly obese and a heavy smoker
Mm-hmm.
and you haven't gotten boosted,
Yeah.
come on, man. Why? Like you're in all the risk categories here.
Yeah.
Like I'm not trying to judge, but like,
Oh
why?
yeah. I mean, it's always the people. I mean, it's fucking Darwin, right?
I'm not trying to say that I'm a specimen of health over here, but I'm just saying like I've had both rounds and the booster. Like
Yeah, me too.
yeah, like I just do your part. I don't know.
Yeah, the booster did nothing. Like I got tired a little bit. All right, whatever.
No, yeah, zero.
Yeah, zero.
I was like sore here for like 24 hours.
Nothing. All right. Rise Against says I wake up 5 pounds lighter the morning after a workout. No shit, no brag. Nice. Hey, if you're like that, Rise Against, you ever take a shit so big you have abs again? I take some of those sometimes. I'm like, hell yeah. I'll take like a 20-minute shit and then flex in front of the mirror. I was like, yeah, I'm all right. I look all right, man. At what Brian is talking about, as someone who gets good, still feel the same way. At work or in the classroom, it's still required. Anywhere else, God, yeah. I'm jealous for. Yes, I mean, yeah, jealous. I mean, yeah. Sorry. I mean, genes are like if genes are unfair in my favor. Like imagine people like David Goggins or, like name your athlete that just don't build up lactic acid or anywhere, and they're like freaking rocket ships of human beings. That's amazing.
Every day. Like
there's this one guy who lives in Schuylkill County who is like a professional wrestler. Occasionally you see him at the grocery store. He's like super tall and super big, and he's got awesome, beautiful bilateral symmetry.
That's not to do with the Maserati, is it?
I don't know.
There's a dude who has a Quattroporte
Yeah.
in Pottsville. He claims he won in a poker game.
That's
It's an older Quattroporte, like the ones that you don't want to buy that have like the grenade engine. It's like one of those. But that guy supposedly is also like.
I'll have to ask some of the people at the gym what the W. I don't know if it's WCW or somebody.
Okay.
But like occasionally he shows up at the gym, and I don't know. He's like 6'6", something like that. I think Nick Roman knows who he is.
Gifted genetically, though.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to do professional wrestling, you have to be an exceptional person just to get in there. It's one of the hardest jobs in the world.
Yeah.
like physically, mentally, stamina.
Yeah,
Like mad respect to the people who can do that.
no doubt.
It's like the modern version of like gladiators.
Not easy.
All right, man. I think we're gonna wrap this up. It's like 11 p.m. I have one thing I need to do for RCR before I ship off to bed. Thank God I showered already. All right. So I think we got everything. One last check of super chats just to make sure I'm not missing anyone. Thank you, Ben McElwee, for coming out, sharing
Yeah.
beers, hanging out. It's a great Friday.
Good night. Good times.
All right. So we have one more, and it was Jacob Shapiro. And thank you for your donation. Buick basically exists for the Chinese market. That's why GM kept them instead of Pontiac in 2008. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
agreed.
They know on which side their bread is buttered, and they're going to keep Buick.
Mm-hmm.
And if that means we get another supercharged 6-cylinder Buick again, or some version on a long enough timeline, will the Grand National come back? I don't know. Because what would you do with the Grand National? Would it be electric?
Yeah, it will be now.
Because all the Grand National was a big fuck you to the Corvette in its
Yeah.
final form, the GNX.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or if Holden still existed, it'd be a rebadged Holden. but
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. And on that note, that's the end of the podcast. Thank you, Ben McElwee, for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you again for the beer. Shout out to Bourbon Barrel Age Worldwide Stout that carried me through like an hour and a half
Yeah,
with
it did.
hilarity. Thank you to the YouTube channel Adler the Eagle for taking our call in the middle of this and having a bunch of fun. Thank you to everybody who donated to Super Chats. We will be using your money for our travel budget as 2022 rolls on. We will be finally getting out into the rest of the world. Thank you to everybody who donates through Patreon. You're allowing Regular Car Reviews to exist as a larger channel than it really is. And thank you to Ben McElwee for that lovely rendition of Ludacris's Southern Hospitality. Cadillac grills, Cadillac something. Check out the oil my Cadillac spills. LS, keep your mouth on hold. Thank you to everybody who watches on Monday. And when I close this, I have to do a little bit of B-roll filming for this before I go off to Dreamland tonight and listen to vaporwave music to fall asleep. So to close tonight on this very long stream, which has been going on for over 3 hours, which I have no complaints over, we will end tonight and send some of you off into that delightful dreamland by reading the weather. In Mid-State, PA, the current temperature is 14 degrees. Today's high was 25 degrees Fahrenheit with a low of 90 degrees Fahrenheit. Tomorrow, Saturday, the high will be 28 degrees with a low of 3 degrees. Sunday, high of 28 degrees with a low of 14 degrees. Today, clear currently, it is 14 degrees. The high today was forecast to be 25 degrees. Air quality is good. Sunrise was at 7:22 a.m. and sunset at 5:09 p.m. Chance of snow, 10%. Humidity, 49%. Winds, east-northeast at 2 miles per hour. Wind chill, 14 degrees. Precipitation, 0 inches. Pressure at 30 degrees. Pressure at 30 inches. Visibility, 10 miles. And now, your local forecast for Rockaway Township, New Jersey. Currently, in Rockaway Township, New Jersey, it is 10 degrees. The high today was 19 degrees with a low of 7 degrees. Tomorrow, Saturday, the high will be 28 degrees with a low of 3 degrees. Sunrise was at 7:17 a.m. with a sunset was at 5:03 p.m. Winds north-northeast at 5 to 10 miles an hour. Wind chill of 1 degree Fahrenheit. Visibility 10 miles. And now the weather for Cincinnati, Ohio. Current temperature is 16 degrees. The high today in Cincinnati, Ohio was 27 degrees Fahrenheit with a low of 12 degrees. Tomorrow, the high in Cincinnati will be 32 degrees. The low, 9 degrees. Sunday, Cincinnati, Ohio will have a 70% chance of snow with a high of 32 degrees and a low of 19 degrees. The sunrise in Cincinnati, Ohio was 7:52 a.m. Sunset was at 5:47 p.m. Chance of snow 10%. Humidity 77%. Visibility 10 miles. That was your weather forecast. Thank you, and have a very pleasant evening. Good night.